I bang. Can I just hear one bang? No. Get the Mike Breen 2 bangs?
Listen, just because you don't have trademarked catchphrases, don't try to mess with mine. Like Emily's got boom.
She does.
I go roar.
And roar.
Well, technically, I created roars.
And
that is true,
it.
I think.
She took credit for it.
I've gifted it to you, but
Right,
let's not
exactly.
forget where
No,
it began.
I give so much credit.
Andy Kamenetsky's here. Beto Duran. Alan Sliwa sitting in the A chair. You know how I feel about these days. And Cody Liu sitting in for producer Jorge.
Shots already in.
I guess Jorge needed, 6 days off?
Okay.
I think Chris knows how I feel about Tuesday. So
Yeah, I know.
Same thing.
I know.
Cody, how's your snake?
Both live the same way.
Cody, how's your snake? Hey,
Very
Alan, you stepped on that question of the year. How is the pet python? Did Chuck have a good Memorial Day weekend?
Chuck was eating a bunch of hamburgers, a bunch of hot
Look
dogs.
at Chuck.
I don't think that's good for a python.
Oh, it's good for him. I think he crushed a Bud
He did a
Light,
turkey
too.
burger. He did a turkey burger. Yep.
He's more of a beef guy, but it's all good.
Yeah, who is it?
What are you drinking?
LMNT, my electrolytes.
It's like 30 seconds into the show. You already got the electrolytes?
I already need
Wow.
You got the sunglasses. You got the electrolytes.
It's a 3-day weekend. He needs those electrolytes.
Really 4-day weekend. I didn't do a lot on Friday.
Golf?
No, just was like.
I mean, Andy brought his beef to sample.
Man, Emily is on a run so far.
He did. It's one of the first things he said in the prep meeting.
Well,
I've got beef.
Here's my meat.
Yeah.
I did not realize. I offered the meat. I put the meat right out on the table for everyone to sample. Boom.
No,
Barbecue over the weekend.
Bam, bam.
What I figured was I did not realize that Travis wasn't going to be here. I wasn't sure who was going to be in, but eventually I figured we'd be asking about our weekends. The weekends would inevitably get into what did you eat, what did you cook, what did you grill. Yesterday I did some grilling, and I figured Travis would get into all the questions about what was the marinade, what did you put into it. So
Trav would have had 33 questions for you. So instead of breaking it down.
For the sake of expediency, I said, here, taste it. Tell me what you think of it. Boom. So you guys let me know.
He's just
little tri-tip.
Just sample his meat a little bit.
Tri-tip. Meat around here.
Tri-tip at 10 in the morning. I mean, what could go wrong?
Nothing.
I'm a bit of a tri-tip snob, so my tip is amazing, so I want to try it.
I want to try.
Okay.
I'll try it in a couple hours, actually. I got to have my greens
Isn't
first.
tri-tip supposed to be warm?
No, cold tri-tip's very nice.
Cold tri-tip is excellent.
Really?
Yeah.
Cold tri-tip is excellent.
All right, right out the
Nothing
gate.
like eating on the radio. Smells good. Smells good.
It's
Very
good.
flavorful.
Thank you.
Give me what exactly the preparation is.
Teriyaki base with sesame oil, canola oil, garlic, sugar, a little bit of rice wine vinegar. It was on the grill probably about 30-ish minutes.
You know what? I washed that down with a little coffee.
There you go.
A cup of coffee.
There you go.
Chef AK. You are a chef, right?
I do like to cook.
You're a sous chef?
I cook a lot. I am a sous chef.
Yeah, that's right.
So there you go. I am a sous chef.
Yes,
I'll try
chef.
the meat later on.
Yes, chef.
Pacing himself.
Yeah, Chris doesn't, show just started. He doesn't try
like
meat
I said,
until
I
later.
figured Travis would have a million questions. I was like, you know what? Let's just get right to it.
Yeah, but wait a minute. So let me ask. Hold on for a second. So who did you think you were filling in for today?
I was not 100% sure.
Oh.
I didn't know.
In our role, when they call you, you just say, okay, I'll be there.
Okay,
and you don't ask any questions.
Usually say, oh, can you fill in for Alan?
I wouldn't
Can
know.
fill
You
in
don't
for
call me.
Travis. Might have been a mistake on my end for not saying whomst you were filling in for.
We don't need to know.
So,
Well, you assumed right out the gate
We just assume the time. That's all.
that Travis was not going to take a day off.
Right, because
Travis
he
didn't take that many days
he
off.
doesn't take any
Well,
vacation
it
days
also
now
had
as a
come on a
spy.
recent spate, Alan, of you missing multiple days in a row.
And you thought him just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Later in June.
Exactly.
Later in June, not right now.
Celtics closed out the Pacers last night. You heard it here on 710 ESPN, which means George Sedano is on a plane back home, although he won't be on the show today. Apparently the plane, there's already discombobulation at the airport.
there's a mess.
So he's got like 3 more hours in the Delta Lounge.
Canceled, delays, planes, trains, automobile for Sedano today.
But we will bring you not nuggets. I wanted to say nuggets so bad.
Wow.
We'll bring you the Western Conference
Mavs,
Finals.
Timberwolves, yep.
Mavs, Timberwolves, as the Mavs try to close out the Timberwolves. That coverage at 5:30 p.m. here on 710. So that we got a combo play this afternoon.
How long has Sedano been doing play-by-play now?
He's not doing play-by-play. He's doing sidelines right now.
Well, he was doing in the last series.
He did one game for a fill-in because somebody couldn't get to that game 6.
But he's been doing play-by-play on radio and TV for
he does
college football for
4 years.
4 years.
He sounds like he's been doing it for 20. I was in my car. It was a week ago last Saturday, and it was
Yeah, it was the Mavs game.
It was the Mavs game,
The Mavs
right?
game. Somebody couldn't get to that game, so George filled in.
Okay. Had no idea he was on the radio. I was just like, all right, I'm going to go grab some food. I'm going to listen in the car. And I've heard him do college games. Damn. Already you're the man, his flowers. That's really, really impressive. Already in the NBA doing playoff games, I thought it was really good. When you said yesterday he was doing it, I didn't know he was doing sidelines.
So he's sidelines for this conference and the NBA Finals. He'll get that. So there'll be a lot of fill-in days coming up.
There you go. A lot more try.
And we don't want the NBA Finals to go 7 games, because if he goes 7 games, he's going to miss the Mandy's on June 22nd.
Oh, for real?
Ooh, that could easily happen.
Wait, there's a game on June 22nd?
So no, there's a game. 7 is the next day. Game 5 or game 6 would be Thursday. But we were more concerned when we started planning that about the Lakers potentially being there. That obviously,
You really were.
Whatever concern was gone within the last.
We look at it because of John and Michael.
Between being concerned about it and anticipating it.
Well, to be fair, he didn't get the NBA Finals gig or that schedule
until about a month ago.
Yeah, so we didn't know that was going to be a thing.
But it's good though. You thought, the Lakers Game 7 NBA Finals. We got to really plan around that.
Are you guys
in
watching
October last year?
You guys watching any of the NBA or no interest?
Yeah, I watch it.
Okay, you watch yesterday.
It's kind of part of our job, I think.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, I'm not Mason. I'm not going to come in here with no sports information on my brain.
I mean, Prize Picks was good to me last night.
Listen, Pacers, Celtics.
I mean, is there any other reason?
Pacers, Celtics. I think you can still be okay doing a show in LA, whether you caught the Celtics or the Pacers. I'm going to watch the games either way. You said something when we started the show, or when we were doing some prep earlier. Which one's worse?
Yeah, I think assuming Dallas does not have the epic.
They're not losing 4 in a row.
Them, we end up with Dallas versus Boston.
Good.
Which scenario potentially pisses off Laker fans more? Boston winning 18 or the Mavericks winning the championship with Kyrie, the guy that in a lot of Laker fans' minds, the Lakers should have gone all in and gotten. We know LeBron wanted Kyrie to be in there. So had Kyrie had been a Laker, maybe it's the Lakers facing
Can I
the
change your
Celtics.
question?
It's not, but that's okay.
Can I change your question just a little bit? Chris, which one makes you happier? Boston winning number 18.
It's not good for business.
Or
for
Kyrie Irving. No,
Kyrie's a better story, I think. Kyrie's a better. Even though I can't stand him, Kyrie's a better story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only one that matters is you don't want Boston to win anything.
Yeah, I don't.
I
don't even remember.
I don't care what Dallas does.
That's how I lean.
Remember, I'm a Lakers fan.
100%.
Okay?
100%. A lot of people know that, by the way.
No,
when
I know.
people say Chris Morales, they think Dodger fan. He loves Dave Roberts.
Oh, Dave should cry
and he
more.
loves the Lakers.
Dave should go out there and cry more. It seems to be working.
The joy that Chris Morales takes in every Laker victory, every Dodger victory, and you can't get him out of bed when bad things happen to either of those teams.
Oh, that's why yesterday's rainout was terrible for him.
Oh yeah, biggest.
He doesn't know what to do. They're in New York, by the way.
He went back and started watching other games. I think any way that you lay out the scenarios, I think Boston getting number 18.
Anything Boston victory is terrible.
Except here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
No, there is no except. Boston sucks.
No, but if you're a Laker fan and you're upset with the way things have been run, of late in the Rob Pelinka era, in the Rob and Jeannie era,
LeBron wanted Kyrie. There was
I'm more
certainly
looking
some
at it,
rumors out there that
I don't even know what anything Boston does. Seeing Boston on that pinnacle, about to win another title. That's the one that annoys me.
Boston jumping ahead of the Lakers in the all-time title chase.
All that matters.
Right, but it can also put pressure on the organization of, no, really, get your bleep together.
Nah.
Because all of a sudden now you're staring up at Boston.
If that's what it takes, they're still not going to do it. They're still going to.
I was going to say I don't know if I don't know if the
anymore.
Celtics getting another championship will put more pressure. I think there's enough pressure on them anyway.
They're just going to do that. They're a better team right now.
JJ, man, next Pat Riley.
Good thing they're not dipping 40 years in the past.
No, not at all.
No, Boston, they have guys in their 20s, huh?
Well, that too.
Do they?
By the way, if
and I think Luke is in his 20s. Last time I checked, just checking.
Okay, don't just go down that list. Look at just these last
SGA.
Okay,
Anthony
even Denver.
Edwards.
It's not like Jokic is 35
Jokic
or something
and
like
Murray
that.
Are still in their primes. Wemby, win now because that guy's going to be destroying the league
soon.
And
guys are going to want to go play in San Antonio for that.
Houston is on the way up. There are a lot of. It's no accident that the final 4 teams left. They're all built around young players.
The Dallas thing is interesting to me.
What a concept!
The Dallas thing is interesting to me. By the
Draft
way,
well.
By the way, the concept that you're talking about, Phoenix has KD and basically an aging star, you can call it, and whoever else, Bradley Beal on there as well. what direction did they go in? Look at the Golden State Warriors, what direction did they go in? The Lakers, what direction did they go in? Clippers is another good example. Dallas, what makes Dallas so interesting, if I told you before the playoffs started, hey, pick a team that's going to make the NBA Finals. Not that Dallas is not going to get picked, but I'm not picking Dallas for a little bit down the way. Okay, so if Denver was already better than the Lakers, the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Denver Nuggets, and now you got Dallas that's within the next couple days, they're going to be in the NBA Finals. That's 3 teams without even blinking that you're saying to yourself is already better than the Lakers. And Dallas wasn't even one of the teams that wasn't one of the teams that was in mind.
The West is just brutal, man. The West is brutally
Maybe
hard.
the Lakers could go to the East for a little while. A couple seasons in the East.
Doesn't matter. The East is good too.
You know,
How do we
maybe
do that?
I don't know.
If you're
Listen, they can figure it out.
If you're a Lakers team going to the East, that's not good.
LeBron can figure it out.
LeBron could physically go to the East if he wants to go
LeBron
to
could
the
be in
East.
Cleveland. That'll be good. That'll be real good.
Philly's got caps.
Nah, Philly people will attack LeBron like no other. He'd get crushed. Emily, I didn't hear a roar from you.
She had one early
I
on.
had one, but my voice is going, so I went, ooh. Okay, that was a little better.
Also, sad news over the weekend. The great Bill Walton passed away.
Yeah,
Which means we'll have to spin some Grateful Dead today.
All day.
you should.
I don't know about all day. It's a lot of Grateful Dead, but we'll spin some today for sure.
You got a Bill Walton story over there, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to that
Everybody
too.
has a Bill Walton story.
He's got like a personal one at his house.
Oh, at your house?
Yeah.
At his house. Bill, I had. We'll talk about this.
Well, it's
later.
funny. Dave Pash last night on SportsCenter with Van Pelt talked about how a lot of people lived at Bill Walton's house when they needed, to live somewhere.
Yep.
Maybe that's where Andy was for a little bit.
You're in the teepee?
I was not in the teepee. No, I was not in the teepee, but I was in the casa.
And speaking of the dead, they're at the
Wow,
Sphere right now.
Em, come on.
She's on a roll right now.
I'm sorry. The Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead. I'm sorry.
Grateful
I'm
Dead.
sorry.
Okay.
Grateful
Oh,
The
forget it. No,
Grateful
no. I
Dead.
like the
Grateful
other
Dead.
version better.
Grateful Dead.
Speaking of the Grateful Dead,
Cody, do you know who the Grateful Dead are?
No chance.
No clue.
he was very confused.
No
So, okay,
clue.
so I was talking to Parker because Parker was our social media guy, was in Vegas this weekend. And I was like, "Oh, did you see the Dead?" And he was
come
like,
on.
"No, that's what you call them."
No, but saw
the
some
fact
people
that you
about
ask
to
a
die.
12-year-old
That's
that.
for
Okay, whatever. So I was like, did you go to see the Grateful Dead at the Sphere? And he's like, oh no. And then there's a bunch of deadheads in Vegas because I had a couple different friends go and see the Grateful Dead at the Sphere, and the visuals coming out of that are insane. I know we talked about the U2 because I know that Mace went to go see them and John went to go see them.
Yeah.
But the Grateful Dead are like perfect for the Sphere. We were talking about like other artists that could do the Sphere really well because you have to have like a specific kind of artist to do it. But I think the Grateful Dead are perfect for it.
I just know Truckin'. That's it. Sorry.
Trucking's a great song.
That's all I got.
Terrapin Station's a great song.
Yeah.
All right, you tell
Friend of the
your story when we come back. Plus, what'd you say? You got a dog over the weekend?
I did get a dog.
All right, another dog for latest dog.
Latest dog.
Okay.
We have 2 dogs.
It's a lot
And
of
then
dogs.
the Phoenix Suns supposedly have interest in LeBron.
Oh, it's so good.
Bronny potentially could get
It's so
drafted by
good.
the Phoenix Suns. So a couple angles there. Let's do that when we come back. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
under my hat. I get home before daylight. Just might get some sleep tonight.
Sing it, AK.
Yeah, AK into the Grateful Dead. We play this, of course, all day. We're going to play a lot of Grateful Dead today to remember Bill Walton, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 71 from cancer. The Travis and Sliwa Show. AK's here, in for Travis, who I guess also needed an extra day off. Sliwa's here, and of course, Mondays with Beto becomes Tuesdays with Beto when it's a holiday.
Woohoo! Travis was posting on social media this
He
weekend.
was, yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah.
He actually had some good posts.
It wasn't bad.
I'm proud of his improvement as he goes along. He had
You
to make
bullied
some
him.
pictures,
Scared the hell
and
out of him.
videos, and sometimes bullying works. Okay, and I got him to do better on Instagram.
Okay, so I asked him. I was curious about his. For those who don't know, his son is trying to figure out which college he's going to go to, and one's a lot more expensive than the other. So I just tried to kind of get a little bit of like, how's the pitch going? He's like, he likes the school, but he's got a quick decision to make. I didn't really feel like I got much of a. I feel like Travis is very, very nervous right now of whether his son's going to go to Cal Poly or he's going to go to Oregon. So that was the pitch this weekend, and I don't know if Travis is.
He's got that Rome money still wrapped in foil.
still
He's fine.
No,
I
he
wouldn't
doesn't
worry
have
about
much.
Is it
because-
like a bottomless pit of
No,
Rome money?
no, here's what
But
it is.
if
Here's
you-
what it is.
What they paid
that
him?
time,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Here's what it is. Even if he had that Rome money that you're talking about, you guys used to deal with the Starbucks situation here.
Oh, that's why we couldn't break him. He never put
That's
that
what
card
I'm
down.
saying. So right now, what do you think he's doing about between Cal Poly and Oregon?
The
He's sitting
problem
there-
is Travis's first kid went to Oregon, so that's
Yep.
where the most of the Rome money went. So now he's on.
So went to Oregon,
Chevrolet.
but
And think
how do we
about
put
the
this?
third kid.
How do
He
we
didn't-
put
Oh, he
this?
has another kid?
He's
got
He's
three.
got three.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He didn't spend much time at Oregon that
Yeah,
But
so
you still paid that 1 year of 80
1 year.
grand.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
Where's
yeah.
Graham Metzger? He went there. His dad is broke, so because he went to Oregon.
I think
so.
Graham's filling in for somebody else who took the day off
Yeah,
today,
because
too.
Graham
later on.
has to
my
work to
gosh.
pay back those student loans.
Because Cody's in for producer Jorge, who's also not here
Look,
today.
out-of-state school fees and
Well, it's a lot.
Cal State, you're here.
Okay, is everybody against like the idea and concept just go to a JC for 2 years? Is that just not in the cards?
It's
Do
actually
people not do
becoming-
I would
that
do that,
anymore?
yeah.
It's actually becoming increasingly more of a thing because
Seems
given
like a
how much
no-brainer.
tuition costs
It
right
depends
now,
on the kid.
there-
It depends on the kid.
the
But sometimes
cost
you just want to
benefit.
get out.
That's
Sometimes you want
true.
to get out of the house and you want to be on your own. And like I know Parker, he said he did a JC for 2 years too.
Parker's
but-
part of the Blue Review and on our social media team.
Yeah. And so it's hard to sometimes be like, I'm 18, I want to be, and all my friends are in 4-year colleges. And so it might be a smart financial decision as a 30-year-old looking back, being like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. But
LA's different, and because
Yeah.
there's a lot of junior colleges here.
Yeah.
That are huge.
And most of the schools here are commuter schools, unlike Virginia, where you're from. You guys all go away to school.
Yeah.
Here, it's you stay home because all the Cal States are commuter schools. San Diego State, commuter school. Cody, Fullerton, everything is a commuter school. So it depends on the kid. If he or she is mature enough to leave home. Also, do you know what you want to do? That's another thing.
First 2 years are going to be the same thing anyways, right?
It's just different.
Like as
on
in
where
what
it's at.
classes you take and everything else. And I get it. People want to just leave. And when
Yeah.
you have, use
Yeah.
Oregon as an example, it's like, hey, I want to be a part of a sports school. I want to go to these big college football games.
But it's also the discipline of making sure that you can actually, like I was a terrible student. So when I went to JUCO, it was the best thing for me because I knew I was going to drop the classes anyways. So there's other kids who are smart who are disciplined enough to do that, to graduate on time, all that stuff. So it just, you're right. The smart thing to do, like I told my kid who's in New Jersey, if he would have just been a kid who didn't have any kind of direction, you're going to Long Beach City. Like that's where you're going because it's free. But because he has an idea of what he wants to do, then I had no problem doing it. But you got to figure out what you want. But for Travis, it's expensive, man. It's expensive.
Yeah, I didn't really get. I was trying to like figure out what happened one way or the other. I feel like he's at a car dealership and he's still figuring out which car.
So
he has no idea what he's going to spend. It's
He's
either
just
going to be the
refreshing his bank
Escalade.
balance
Well,
over and
no,
over
that's the
and
thing.
over.
If he's sending if his kids goes to Oregon, he's getting the Escalade. If his kid goes to Cal Poly slow, he's getting the nice Chevy Blazer.
His kid's getting the Escalade.
Well, Travis's
not Trav.
wallet.
Travis paying for the Escalade.
The kid
That
might get
part's
the
right.
education. It doesn't matter. The parents paying.
What happened with your story about Bill Walton passed away yesterday, 71 years old, and you mentioned you had actually a personal story with him.
Yeah, several years ago, Brian and I helped this organization called IMBCR. They do myeloma and bone cancer research. They did this raffle where the winners, there were multiple sets of winners. You got to have dinner with Bill Walton at his house in San Diego.
Wow.
And we were, as part of the organizing people, we went to this dinner as well. And he was just the most amazing host. Like, you got the full Bill Walton experience. Like, he had his own chef prepare the meal. He found out everybody's dietary restrictions, all sorts of stuff. Incredible food. He held court the entire night telling stories, took us into this one room of the house that's like filled with just different instruments, including like a full drum set that were all played by the Grateful Dead. Like, I mean this in the best way possible. He did not stop talking the entire dinner, which is exactly what the people there wanted. Like, you want Bill Walton to just keep talking because everything he said was so entertaining. And, you know, I'd met him a couple other times before that, had a few interactions. I think I'd interviewed him before. But this was the only time I ever had like a personal time with Bill Walton. He was phenomenal.
That's why Kaplan's going to be great today because he was friends with him.
Yeah, I know.
They used to ride together. And, you know, it comes out that Bill had cancer. Nobody knew. None of his close friends knew.
Well, everybody
and he did that broadcast recently.
Everybody knew that he'd been dealing with like really debilitating back issues for years.
Yeah.
He had
39 surgeries.
Yeah, he had talked about.
Is that the number?
He had 30. That's when he was considering suicide because he was under so much pain.
Yeah, he's talked openly about that. Like, his body was in tremendous.
It was painful to watch him walk.
Well, I remember Luke Walton had all those back issues. That was scary for Luke because you just think about like, oh, is this the hereditary part from my dad? Looking at everything my dad goes through, but like Bill Walton was one of those guys that was larger than life, but it wasn't fake. Like, it wasn't a show.
You know what's interesting about him is depending on your age, you have different versions of Bill Walton that you know. So if I gave this example, Michael Thompson might look at Bill Walton completely different than I might look at him. Michael's looking at him.
MT had a great picture of them together.
And Michael's looking at him as, hey, this is one of the, like, there's a lot of quotes that are going around. Larry Bird had some quotes yesterday. Kareem had a really great piece about Bill Walton. These guys knew him as a player. They knew him as, you know, obviously a champion, whether it be in the NBA or in college. Someone like me, the only version that I really know of Bill Walton is that guy is hilarious on these broadcasts. Look at his personality. Look how he comes off. So we all kind of, depending on what your age, how you view him and how you perceive him and look at him, but nobody had a negative experience about him.
What about you, San Diego guy? Isn't it different?
Yeah. Well, this is the one part that he was such an advocate of the city of San Diego. He was born and raised in La Mesa, went to Helix High School, was an advocate for SD, so I think there's a little bit of a touch. It's kind of funny, just a random story here. Where he used to live, a cousin of mine owns a convenience store, which is a shocker there in the Middle Eastern community. Owns a convenience store, and that's where Bill would go because it was close enough. And he's like, the guy would just walk around and come in the store like he's not Bill Walton.
Bicycle everywhere.
Yeah.
But just think about it, like
the whole state.
Isn't that kind of funny where people that are, everybody knows who the hell he is, but they just don't care that you know who he is. Like, yeah, I'm just going to go about my day and I don't care.
If you're Bill Walton, you can't blend anyway.
No.
So
6'11".
There's one of, and he's got that massive hair and a big voice and a very distinctive face.
Tie-dye T-shirts.
So there's one of two ways you can go with it. You can either, and Kareem has talked about this. Kareem used to be extremely uncomfortable with the idea that he could never blend because he's not naturally, his own words, he's not naturally a people person. So this was very uncomfortable for Kareem. For someone like Bill Walton, he leaned into the idea that he can't ever escape being seen, so you might as well just become the ultimate people person.
Yeah, and he knew who he was. He would call himself Larry Bird's valet, right? He knew. But then everybody you talked to said when he was at UCLA, he was going to go down as one of the best ever before the injuries got to him. You know, like the relationship he had with John Wooden, where he comes to practice for that story, the long hair. I'm going to be my own person. I'm an individual. Well, Bill, it's nice having you on the team. When he got the haircut the very next day, like all those stories.
But he also protested the Vietnam War.
There's a picture of him getting arrested.
Yeah, which upset John Wooden.
Yep. So there, you have the Bill UCLA. You have the NBA and the Blazers with Dr. Jack, right?
I think their only championship. Yep.
And then I knew him more as, remember, he was a Clippers broadcaster with Ralph Lawler. And
they were great.
So when I was a Clipper intern, I think 2001, whatever, one of the questions that they brought out the seatbelt. The chair that had the seatbelt, because it was always like, fasten your seatbelts. I was like, no, they really do have seatbelts on the chair. Because one of my jobs as community relations was to make sure that everything was lined up for the game. It was like, you'd see Bill, he wasn't working as much, but he was good on those Channel 5 games.
The other thing, too, is like Bill Walton was so well known for other things like intellectual curiosities, reading, but also the Grateful Dead, like we've been playing.
Yeah.
His love of that band, being a Deadhead. I've got a text chain with the members of my high school band. I played in a band in high school, and none of them are particularly big sports fans, and I know none of them follow the NBA at all.
But their connection to him was the
they were
Grateful
all
Dead?
fans of the Dead.
Yeah.
So they actually, one of them sent out part of this text chain, R.I.P. Bill Walton. These are people that didn't even really know him as a basketball guy. They really knew him as just the ultimate, most high-profile Deadhead.
When's Yachtly Crew's next show? Because I want to get AK's band to open up for them.
Well, they're in San Diego on Friday.
Forks?
They're in San Diego on Friday. I think Cap might go, but we're going to be involved at the one in August in Burbank.
The guitarist of the Forks does live in L.A.
Let's try to see if we can put this thing back together.
Wait, hold on, the utensil.
Forks, yes.
Why?
I don't know. We're like
They
16
were
or
high
17.
and 16 years old. That's why.
St.
That's
Louis is finest
actually
right there.
not that far.
Can you guys still perform?
I have not played drums in a long time.
You're a drummer?
I was a
That's when you
drummer.
had the long hair?
Longer, yeah.
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 Look at that.
All right.
Get after
The other
Forks.
guys actually play more often than I do.
The Forks.
We're
and
putting
Yachtly
this
Crew.
together. Yeah,
Let
we're
me tell you something. If
No.
you were a Catholic school girl who hosted a party, chances were Forks were playing.
I know somebody who knows somebody.
Big on these St. Louis
AK.
suburbs Catholic girls scene.
AK, I know somebody who knows somebody that knows Yachtly Crew, so we're gonna work on getting you guys to open. It's only the connection is there. I mean, the Forks are coming back.
We might also do like possibly another show with them in the late fall. So that could be.
Give us a little more time to
A little
show
more
up.
time. A little bit more time. Kind of.
There's Yachtly Crew on a Tuesday.
I thought they were
morning.
pulling up the Forks.
Let me tell you, there was a lot of Yachtly Crew and a lot of Yacht Rock this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Robbie Dupree.
Oh yeah.
All right, Yachtly Crew and some stories coming up. By the way, will the Phoenix Suns actually take Bronny at number 22 to try to get LeBron James? We're going to do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. All right, we talk about Prize Picks all the time. I mean, Beto keeps mentioning Prize Picks, all his games that he's playing over the weekend. I played over the weekend as well. It's so easy. Takes about 60 seconds to submit your entry. So let me give you guys a great example. Tonight's NBA game. Karl Anthony Towns, more or less than 19.5 points. Luka, more or less than 30.5 points. Take 60 seconds to put your entry in. There's already 5 million members that are a part of Prize Picks. I made my first $10 deposit and received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you can play for a shot at turning your $10 into $1,000. Here's a great thing, too. There's games going on right now in hockey. There's games going on right now in Major League Baseball, the WNBA. Go look at what Caitlin Clark is doing. It doesn't just have to be the NBA. You don't just have to be a Laker fan or a fan of the local sports to play. Download the app today. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. What are you waiting for? Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Hey, it's Mace. Life
11 o'clock on a live imaging Tuesday, driven by our friends at Kia, downtown LA. The Memorial Day sale is still on, so you can go see Gary and say, hey, Gary, give me my Kia, sucker!
I might do that, man.
Travis and Sliwa Show. AK's in for Trav. Sliwa's in the A chair for some reason. Beto's here.
Kia, tell you right. Can I get one of those?
Yeah, probably. Just go see Gary.
What do I tell him?
Give me my Kia, sucker!
Just walk in.
Yeah, he's the GM, though, so he's in his office shining the Rolex. Okay? He's going to look at you like, why are you here?
Tell you right. That's what I want.
First off, Kia's killing it. Their models of cars that they have right now.
Oh, it's amazing.
Anyways, it's as good as can be. Draymond's doing all those commercials on there.
I got to go to a meeting, but I'm just going to tell you my opinion on the Phoenix story. Not that you asked.
Yeah.
But I think my laughter has given you, this would be amazing.
Okay.
So
I don't even know what you're talking about, and I want full reaction.
Beto, I'll give it to you because I'm
because
sure
the fact that Morales is having that reaction knows I'm going to be on his side.
there was a story that came out over the weekend. So Evan Siddery with Forbes Sports.
Okay.
The Suns are hoping to pursue LeBron James this offseason, which is why Bronny James.
Wait, hold on. LeBron James?
Yep.
Not the Sun.
No. Well, there's a connection to the Sun.
Stay with us, buddy.
Here's the connection.
Real?
Which is why Bronny James is a very serious draft option at number 22 overall to potentially lure him in. So let me give you the pieces here. LeBron cannot sign with the Phoenix Suns for
let me write this down.
$50 million deal or something along those lines.
Because LeBron is, for those unaware, LeBron has a player option.
Yep.
That's what Emily, when you told me that, I thought it was just about LeBron. I didn't know the Sun was in a factor.
Right. LeBron can become
No, the Sun's a big factor.
LeBron can become a free agent this offseason, and Rich Paul may have accidentally let it be known that he's going to opt out.
That's right, with Chris Haynes. Yeah.
Which most people expected that he's going to opt out
and resign
but
for
when
money.
But when you refer to him as a free agent, it sounds a little bit more ominous, I guess, especially when you combine this story.
So here's the he's not able.
I'm taking notes.
He's not able to. LeBron's not able to leave the Lakers and decline his player option and decide, hey, I'm going to go sign a 2-3 year deal for $50 million. The contract that the Lakers can give him obviously is significantly more from a financial perspective. He can only sign, if he leaves the Lakers, he's only signing basically for the vets minimum.
Yeah, the vets minimum.
Okay.
Other than a couple plays. Like Philly has some money. Orlando
but they don't have $50 million.
They don't have what he could currently make with the Lakers.
He can make the most with the Lakers.
I don't think there's any team with that type of salary cap that would be serious.
So he'd be sacrificing about $50 million. But here's the pitch. The pitch is this, and this is what the Phoenix Suns are trying to – I'm going to read a little bit more into the story. Phoenix appears to believe they can convince LeBron to join forces with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal to create a historic super team. The way Bronny comes into play is – what did LeBron say? And I know LeBron's tried to backpedal on this, but there's really nothing to backpedal from. And I get it. Listen, if LeBron, one of his goals and dreams in life is to play with his son in the NBA, I understand. I'm sure
but
that.
But then the kid said, I don't really care.
So the kid is one thing. I'm just talking about from LeBron's perspective.
What does he matter?
Well, unfortunately, AK, once he said that he wants to play with his son, you know, and again, it's not like Bronny's a top 5 pick in the NBA. It's not like everybody's looking at Bronny James and saying, watch out, this is the next guy. So clearly, Bronny's got the attention because of his dad, and whether we like to admit it or not. But part of the story here is about using your number 22 overall pick. You go get Bronny James, which there was a story over the weekend.
You're going to waste a first rounder on this kid?
Yeah, they would waste a first rounder if they think LeBron's going to come. I guess my question is this. Do you think LeBron James, because I don't mean to be disingenuous when I say this, when I say it doesn't matter what Bronny wants, because unfortunately I feel like it doesn't matter what Bronny wants, at least up to this point. We'll see what happens. Do you think LeBron would consider something like this? I'll ask you guys both that question.
I'd like to think he wouldn't. If his son is, because to me, and look, I'll preface this by saying I do not know LeBron well, and I've never met Bronny.
Nobody does.
But based on Bronny's very few public comments, we've really only started hearing from him during these different draft workouts and combines. It sounds like Bronny wants no part of this team up at all.
He wants to make it on his own.
Right, and I don't blame him because he's already seen as this Nepo baby who's only getting this type of buzz because people want a piece of his dad.
Yeah.
It sounds like he has no interest in this at all. I would like to think that LeBron would take into account the idea that if Phoenix takes Bronny at 22.
Oh my goodness.
So you
Which
can
no
get,
one is expecting that to
Look,
happen.
what are you
Look,
doing if you're
Bronny is
Phoenix?
not considered first-round talent right now. Maybe
Or
in a
second.
Maybe in a couple years he could be. He absolutely could be in a couple years. But right now, nobody.
But he's not
thinks
going
that.
back to college, so this is it. Like
He still can go back. He still could go back.
Good for you. Good for you, Phoenix Suns, getting into the headlines and having us talk about you at 10:38 on a Monday, Tuesday, whatever day.
But if he actually is a part of, if he plays a part in this role of you overdraft the living bleep out of my son, and I will come over to your team. You're turning your son into a novelty act. Like you're turning your son into a bartering chip.
All right, so $50 million is what you can leave on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, about
Slee?
50.
You, Andy, serious relationships, good life partners. Hey, babe, here's $50 million I'm going to leave on the table. I don't care if you're a billionaire or not. That's $50 million.
Beto, but
and also if you're LeBron,
Yeah.
who is involved with other players advising them, even though he says he's not, you're setting this up for a precedent that's going to be bad for other players. I don't care. You're going to go play for the vets
And
minimum?
LeBron is known for caring about these sort of precedents, which good on him.
Yeah.
Like this is a responsibility.
When he was done in
he carries
Miami,
away.
it was, I'm taking all the money
Right.
now. Because in Miami, he did sacrifice. Remember him, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade were
Yeah.
each making 16
That
mil,
was a
something like
different
that.
part of your
Okay,
career.
so here's the... And again, I'd like to see LeBron James come back with the Los
What's the
Angeles
name of the
Lakers,
owner?
and let's figure
Matt
it out.
what?
Matt
Matt
Ishbia.
Good for him.
He's a
Well,
love
okay,
love
but wait,
him.
wait,
He
wait,
is a
wait,
love him.
wait. But what's Matt Ishbia kind of has nothing to do with this. If Bron's signing for the minimum, Bron signed
Matt
for.
Ishbia has
He's the
everything
one
to
saying,
with
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And give me attention right now.
I understand that, but it's not like he's going to sign Bron and there's this extra salary that he has, like the.
No, but he's still.
It's not like he's going to sign Braun anyways.
This is one of the. This is one
he's
of the.
not going to Phoenix.
This number 22 pick is one of the few assets that they have
Yes.
to try to make this team that is in salary cap hell. They're like past the second apron. They're like on the 8th
They're
apron
beyond. They're,
Yeah.
they're,
at this point. So Matt Ishbia has a lot to do
Good for
with
him.
whatever they do with this.
But the
Good
number
for him.
22 pick doesn't mean anything if LeBron James is a Phoenix.
But it's a
Sun.
first
Do you
rounder
agree with
can
that?
use as a chip somewhere
I
else.
agree, but what is the biggest issue? Again, I'm not telling you that LeBron's going to end up with the Phoenix Suns, but I'm just going to put this story out there, and let's see, does LeBron have any interest of playing with the Sun? Because I do remember 6-8 months ago, whenever that was, LeBron said that's one of his dreams would be to play with his son.
But he's
trying to
backpedaled off
give
of that.
him something. He's backed off of it, but I don't believe it. He backed off of it simply because it was bad for his son to be tied to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that might
it
be
was
the
bad
reason-
for him to be tied to that.
right, it's a bad. Honestly, it's a bad look for LeBron. If
All
he
of this is a bad look.
Right. If LeBron is basically using his son to create some other chapter of his legacy that really is much more about him.
You know, Ireland's
than
going to
his
come in here
son.
and say, "Who cares?
Right,
Who cares?
well,
Who cares?"
For a variety of
For-
reasons.
the Lakers, who cares?
I think who cares.
But if you're Phoenix,
John
you-
is saying who cares for the Lakers.
Yeah, if you're Phoenix, again, great job by Matt. We're talking about them for something that they have no chance at all happening. LeBron going, you said veteran minimum,
Take a vet's minimum.
which is what? How much is that?
Couple mil
Whew, yeah, I'm going to do that. Come on, man.
What is the vet's minimum
for someone
now?
of LeBron's service. I think it's about 2 to 3
Okay,
mil.
and also, that team is not good. That team is a mess. They don't
need a
Well,
win
that team,
playmaker, though.
that team with LeBron, it's a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
It is. Like what they don't have.
But are you going to have that
is-
many guys, that many egos with one ball?
If
You're going to tell me KD is going to back away with it? Beal's going to back up a little
well,
bit?
it's
Booker's
actually
going to back up a
it's
little
actually
bit?
more. It's actually more
They
LeBron
would be a
just setting
train
up
wreck
everybody.
defensively. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Yes. So, but this is where the Suns are like, we'll
Like
kick the
LeBron
tires.
would be
We're
their
open to anything.
Do you realize LeBron would be their starting center because they re-signed Grayson
He should
Allen.
be the starting center
They
here.
re-
Let AD go to the 4.
They re-signed Grayson Allen to a pretty
I
sizable
think
deal.
they're going to try to they're going to try to shop Nurkic, I think was some of the reports out
But
there.
I'm just saying, like, you're not going to
Sorry,
play...
Em, I did not expect Suns talk on a...
You're not going to play Beal or
Ties with the
Durant.
Lakers.
You're not going to play Beal with like $55 million off the bench.
Right.
You're obviously not playing Durant. You're not playing LeBron.
They're not doing this.
So LeBron is your starting five in this line.
And your
So
future
here's-
is Bronny. Woo!
Here's the vet minimum for 10 plus years of service in the NBA. This is like Spotrac.
10
This
or
is-
12?
This is for 2024. It's 3.3. Okay. Is what I found on Spotrac.
Or 50
Well,
with
listen,
the Lakers.
whether that number was $3 million or was $15 million, it doesn't matter. You're
not
leaving
going
X amount of
anywhere.
dollars
15
on the
mil,
table.
That's like a mid-level exception.
That's mid-level. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think 12 is mid-level.
Where's
Something
Pincus?
along those lines.
Put out the Pincus signal.
7:30 tonight on Lakers Talk. So that's where you can find Pincus.
Yeah, they get him out
What
there.
an organic plug!
What a
Yeah.
thing to do.
You want Pincus, you get him at 7:30.
Nothing like LeBron mid-level talk right now. Let's go, baby.
Well, listen,
I'm Phoenix. Let's do it. I'm
Mid-level.
Phoenix. Hell y'all do
look
it.
at LeBron.
Sell the jerseys.
Here's
That's it.
here's
Phoenix
what
doesn't have a mid-level. Like, it's a veteran's minimum. That's
Whatever.
it.
Just sell the jersey to LeBron.
here's what LeBron's history is if he comes back to the Lakers.
He's going to the Lakers.
We just
He can't
talked
go nowhere
about
else.
we just talked about probably 5-6 teams easily you can name off in the Western Conference that, all right, yep, that's going to be a challenge. If he leaves the Lakers, he's only leaving because he feels like he's got a shot at winning an NBA championship, and the other side of it, maybe potentially
Because
playing with his son.
This past year with the Lakers is probably as good as it's going to get. It's as healthy as AD is going to be, and it's as healthy as LeBron's going to be likely because he's only going to have depreciating, health over time because that's what we assume as we get older. So this might be the best that he could have got.
And here's the problem. The problem, too, is if you want to go all in, you got those 3 picks, all that stuff, that's fine. I think that's what they're going to try. You don't even know who's available.
No.
So you could be trying to spend all 3 of those picks to something that
Cleveland
doesn't even
firing
make
JB Bickerstaff. You
is a
have
big
to
deal.
assume
That Donovan Mitchell, you're accommodating to Donovan Mitchell.
It doesn't guarantee that Mitchell stays, but I can promise you, if Donovan Mitchell likes being coached by Bickerstaff, he's still there.
If LeBron goes to Cleveland. Let's do that.
But also, are they even going to be able to get Donovan Mitchell for that much?
Good point,
It might be more
Emily.
expensive.
Real good point.
Bronny James was scheduled to work out for 10 teams, NBA teams, but he's declined all of them except 2, the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns.
Bold move.
And the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix still on the still got an opportunity there.
Can't
Okay.
wait for the draft to be over.
Hey, did you see?
When's the draft? We need a deadline on that.
When
day.
is that? June
26th, I believe.
Okay,
June
and then
26th.
I think June 29th is when Braun could
Oh my goodness.
opt out. That's
So
when I think
Lakers-
those
Oh,
contracts.
Lakers
it's gonna be
hire-
Laker talk 24 hours that week. Slee, you
Lakers
working?
hire-
You better not take a day off that
Oh
week.
yeah, that's gonna be
That's
it's gonna be a lot of that.
It's
Sliwa
June 26th and
Palooza.
stuff.
Let's go.
All right, hey, did you see coming up next? Stay right here. AK in the house, Beto in the house, 710 ESPN.
And it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Did you see what I see?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I thought I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this?
Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
All right, hey, did you see Cody in the house this morning? What's up, Cody? What's going on, brother?
Not much. What's up, guys?
Look at that fade in. He's locked in over there. AK?
Or else Jorge's going to text me about it later.
Jorge ain't doing nothing, man. Don't be scared of that dude.
What's up, guys?
I don't know what Jorge's doing today, but he's probably just chilling there, enjoying his day.
Maybe he's hanging out with Travis.
He could be hanging out with Travis. He brought Jorge in as the closer to try to convince Michael to go to Cal Poly.
This is see what happens when you go to Oregon? Boom. Go to Cal Poly slow.
Here's what happens. What do you got there, Code?
So, interesting thing I saw over the weekend was the Home Alone house is for sale. And the Home Alone house is extremely different than it is from the movie. It's on sale for $5.2 million north Chicago. Okay. But it got me thinking, I wanted to ask you guys, if you guys had the money, is there a famous house, like from a movie or from like a music video, that you guys would purchase?
Ooh.
Okay, I think the original home, not that this is an amazing home or anything like that. I think the original home of Step Brothers is in South Pasadena. Okay? First off,
does it include the bunk bed?
It might include the bunk bed. First off, the South Pasadena in general. It's like beautiful. They're very expensive, everything else.
And they film a lot of movies there because there's a lot less palm trees.
Okay, that's right. I think you had mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting house. Let's go back to kind of our youth, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Right? The house that, the mansion or whatever you want to call it, that's a pretty damn good house. If you're going to take over a house, take something like that.
Your home's the Bel-Air.
Your home's the Bel-Air. Hey, you got a home there?
I mean, the first thought that popped into mind, like, if you had the money, go big, would be Tony Stark's house from Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Is it in Malibu?
Yeah, I mean, it's rumored to be basically like an Elon Musk type house. I think it's
basically
actually supposed to be modeled after that. But the immediate
I
house,
could see you in that house and only using like 2 bedrooms. The rest of it you don't even touch.
You could live there for a year and discover bedrooms. They go, oh, wow, I didn't realize we had this ballroom here. I had no idea. The other houses, though, that immediately popped to mind for me are either Burt Reynolds' house in Boogie Nights, Jack Horner's home, that you see the big pool party take place, or Alfred Molina's house, where the drug deal goes down. Remember, with Night Ranger playing and the fireworks, the drug deal that goes bad. Yeah, Cosmos shooting off those black cats.
Good homes, AK.
And these are both in the valley.
Yeah,
obviously, because it's a porn shoot.
Forget it. Too hot.
So yeah,
I thought you were going to pick like this 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Studio City.
Well, that's what you get for $5 million right now.
Exactly. That's how you got one.
I mean, to stay with the show, the only house that matters is the 90210 Beach House in Hermosa.
Oh, yes.
When they went to college, and they lived right at the end of the Strand, and that's right
David,
there.
Kelly, and Donna.
Yeah, right there. It's the blue house on the corner right before you go to Manhattan Beach. It's right the Hermosa.
That's the house?
That's the house right there.
I didn't. Okay, so I do that.
Actually, the Walsh house would not be bad to live in either.
Nah, they were from
nice
Minnesota.
house.
They didn't have the big money.
I do that walk all the time, the Strand, and I didn't realize that this is the house from 90210 because you can see right inside the house. It's literally right there on the Strand.
Yeah.
So if I was going to have a house from a movie or TV show, it'd probably be one of the Succession houses because they're just gorgeous, massive. There's the one in LA that they have in the final season, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'd want the hotel from the last season that they do in Norway. That's also where they film Ex Machina. It's this gorgeous hotel with all this glass, like in the middle of Norway in the woods. That's where it would be.
So just the whole hotel to yourself?
Yes, just a whole hotel to Emily Hebel.
Jeez, Em.
I dig that.
Just you and your vest?
Yes.
Everyone there, they're wearing their ski vests.
You know how many kickball games you can have on one of those floors? Heck yeah,
I just researched this. The Sopranos house comes up a lot, too.
Yeah.
But that's in Jersey, I think.
Yeah.
The Brady Bunch house is always on the market.
That's in the valley, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
What else you got there, Coat?
All right, so also over the weekend, I went to this like, I guess like fancy like Japanese store, and they had this pineapple They had a bunch of fruit, but the fruit was not cheap at all. It was like fruit that was like $50, like $100.
Imported from Japan?
I think I know what you're talking about. This is
So there's this pineapple. So I did a bit of research on this. It's called, or I don't know what it's called, but it's a 400. There's no specific name for it.
Let me Google expensive pineapple.
The Ruby Glow pineapple from Melissa's Produce. So it's a $400 pineapple. So it's a designer pineapple where they mix a pink pineapple with a specific type of, I guess it's the Ruby Glow pineapple, and it's pink and it's supposed to be super sweet, but it's $400. Even if you had the money for that, would you even like? I can't imagine it being too different from like a regular pineapple.
It's $395.99. Man, get it right.
All right,
and $20 for delivery. Out of stock.
And it's sold out. That's the crazy thing. People are buying it. It's not like it's just like for sale still. It's sold out. So like
people
obviously
have too much money.
Imagine if you go.
They don't work in radio.
There is nothing. There's nothing. But by the way, pineapple, phenomenal. You know, I usually if I go to the grocery store, I grab one, cut it up, all that
Back
stuff.
when Travis worked for Rome in the salad days, this is all he ate.
This is nothing.
This was
nothing.
all he
Threw
ate.
this away.
$400 pineapples.
Imagine if you go to one of those fruit carts and you're just like, looking for. You're looking to spend
Actually, it's funny. I'm reading
you're looking to spend $5 or $10, right? You're like saying to yourself, "Yeah, I wonder what it is." And they cut up the pineapple for you, and then the bill comes. It says $280. $280.
I'm reading the description from Melissa's Produce. Imagine gifting a fruit of this majestic quality, impeccably presented in the packaging, worth of fine art. The Ruby Glow represents the pinnacle of luxury fruit. There's luxury fruit out there?
I didn't know this.
This box, I'm looking right now at the site that you're talking about, Beto. This box would be like a tequila bottle.
Yeah,
box
I was going to say,
for a pineapple.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, it's actually from Costa Rica, Cody. Sought after, previously only available in Asia. It's finally arrived stateside, and Melissa's is proud to be the only distributor offering this extraordinary fruit. Let me give you a little backstory about Melissa's Produce. Joe and Melissa, they sit courtside at the Lakers. They sit front row at the Dodgers right next to Mary Hart. Melissa's Produce, you see it everywhere. So it started off as a fruit stand here in downtown Los Angeles. I don't want to say his last name, but Joe is a super nice man, Latino, and he sits right next to the stanchion where Rich Paul sit on that side. There's always an older gentleman with glasses, white hair. That's Joe. And his wife, Melissa, right next to him. They own 4 courtside. They own a suite. They own LA sports, huge Laker and Dodger fans. So if they're getting that fruit right there, that's how big time they are right now.
That's how a lot of the produce at these games were Melissa's Produce.
They're
You're
all
right
over.
about that.
They advertise everywhere.
So they ordered just 50 of these pineapples.
I'm going to call Joe right now.
Sold out about half of them in 1 month. It's like the Bugatti of pineapples.
I woke up in a pineapple.
But is it that different? Like, how
That's what I'm
different
saying.
could
Probably
this fruit
not.
be from like a normal pineapple, like a really good pineapple? Like, how is it $400?
Here's the problem. Right now, there's counterfeit of these pineapples. And they're hitting the black market. And once you cut into it, it loses value. It's like a car. You drive it out the lot, AK, it's done.
You're right.
You go up and down the streets in New York. There's vendors everywhere with the fake Ruby Glows. It's close enough. Nobody will
They're
ever know.
spray painting it. Trying to get it the right color. All right, Code, good stuff there. Okay, a couple things. I want you to tell, you got a new dog. I want you to tell that story. I want to talk a little Dodgers baseball as well. By the way, Angel Hernandez has retired. I don't know if we know. Yesterday I'm watching MLB Network, and there's just the ticker going, and it's like, hey, yeah, here's the Cubs and this score. Dodgers are rained out. Angel Hernandez has just retired. I think MLB was as excited as anybody else. We'll get into all that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Just
All right, hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. AK just bought 4 of the pineapples and said money ain't a thing as he did it.
Casey Jones. Casey Jones would have some pineapple.
All right, question for you. So you just mentioned, so give us the dog story this weekend. So you ended up getting a new dog this weekend?
Yeah, it was Wednesday. We adopted definitely a bulldog mix. We think he's a pit / bulldog, but
does he look like a classic actor?
He does not. R.I.P. Bobo, our previous pit, who did resemble James Garner.
I thought Bobo was a chimp.
Well, Bobo is a chimp in Commander and Chimp, but we had adopted a dog, and the dog's name was Bobo before we adopted him.
Oh, okay.
But his name had been Bobo. So there were 2 Bobos in my life. One was our dog.
There's a lot of Bobos in my life.
But we recently, Wednesday, we adopted Christian, a bulldog mix. We think of pit and maybe some other breeds, but definitely bulldog. He's about 50 pounds. Super, super sweet dog. He loves people. He's getting along well with our Chihuahua mix. But the problem is, though, my daughter had already gotten a job dog sitting a friend of hers' dog because their family's going out of town for the weekend for a soccer tournament, and we had to take the dog to our house. And this dog is a little terrier who never stops barking. This dog's a pain in the ass, to be totally honest. And I was very concerned with, we've got this new dog coming into our house that seems really sweet, but he's new, and you never know how he can get triggered by whatever. And I know this dog-sitting dog is a pain in the ass and barks at everything. I was like, maybe we should hold off on, I'll fill out the paperwork, I'll pay the adoption fee, I'll do all that, but we should hold off on taking in Christian, the bulldog, until Monday when the dog-sitting job is done. But my vote didn't count. My wife and my daughter outvoted me. They said, no,
did they team up and say, hey, whatever Dad does, it doesn't matter?
Well, they just wanted to bring home our dog, the bulldog, immediately.
Sure.
And my wife's like, it'll work out fine. It'll be okay. My wife was leaving out the part that she was out of town this weekend. She actually went down to Palm Springs for a friend's birthday. So
that's the homie right there. She's smart.
Awesome.
She wasn't even around.
Yeah, she didn't even care. She's like, you'll be fine.
We spent all of Saturday with my daughter was basically in her room with the dog that she's dog sitting because she's getting paid to do this, and I'm in a different part of the house with our 2 dogs that live with us. So I spent about a day and a half of this weekend basically just in isolation with 2 dogs.
Trav loves dogs, so anytime you need a dog sitter,
I know he does.
Go to Trav. Trav loves them.
Oh.
You hate dogs?
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
What?
Why do you hate dogs? How does anybody spend any time with a dog and say, I don't like dogs?
Because they slobber, they leave hair on you, they try to bite you, they're annoying, like that terrier thing that's making all that noise. Like, no.
Okay.
I was traumatized. So I was a paper boy for the Daily Breeze, and the neighborhood I grew up on, remember when pit bulls everybody had them? Well, there were some bad people that lived on my street, and they like to let their pit bull loose when the paper boy would come
Traumatized. Okay,
and
that's fair.
I'll show you the scar on the back of my heel. The pit bull got a little bit of the ankle of young Bert Duran, man. So, I just always been scared of dogs. Still am. I don't want to be around them. I don't like them. I just hate the noise that they make. I hate the slobber. I hate the drool. And come at me, people. I don't care.
No, it's not. But you had an experience.
But
like,
even
that's
now,
different. Like you had an experience.
Even now as a dog, as an adult, I don't like the dogs. Like I had one time, Lindsay brought her dog.
Yep.
Chewy, right? Looks cute from a distance. She's like, "Can you hold him?" Because we were downstairs at Starbucks. Can you just hold him? I'm like holding the leash, like. He started to move. I'm like, if you're gone, you're gone, bro. Like I'm the and he's like, oh my god, I just don't like anything about a dog. Like my kids don't have one.
Did they ever want one?
Yeah, and I always remind them, who's gonna pick up the poop? You are. Nope. Who's gonna feed them? You are. Nope. I'm not doing anything. I don't even want to take care of the kids. I'm let alone the dog.
This was actually my daughter. When we were walking.
So come at me. I don't care.
When we were walking the dog that we were sitting. She's holding the leash, and she was responsible for picking up the poop because she's getting literally paid for
That's why
this.
Kids are great because they get out of the diapers.
Well, this was the first time that she had ever done the picking up poop part.
Nope.
What
she
you
didn't
think?
Like it.
Yeah.
She did not like it at all.
That's why I hate when you run, especially on the Strand, Emily, and the people dogs, they just leave the poop on the strand and running. Like, come on,
don't
man.
have a dog if you're not going to pick up after your dog.
Yeah,
literally, do not have a dog if you're not going to pick up.
If you're
after
running
your
with your dog, it looks great from a distance, but no need for that.
All right, do you guys see over the weekend? By the way, I don't even know how Angel Hernandez is this popular. Like, how can you be an ump and be this popular where everybody knows your name, and they basically know it because nobody liked Angel Hernandez?
Yeah. Everybody, he united baseball fans. That's hard to do.
Okay, think about it. If I told you right now, and AK, we might be able to do it, and Beto, you might be able to. If I said, okay, give me a couple referees in the NBA, we probably can do it, but usually it's not for the best of reasons. Who's the ref that was against Chris Paul?
Scott Foster.
Probably not a good stat to know where they're throwing that out there as if it's part of the game. And you know, Scott Foster's 12-0 against Chris Paul. I don't know if I need to know that, but that's an interesting stat.
Well, he shouldn't be 0-0 or
against
any
anybody.
record against anybody. He's a referee.
When you're the role as an official, as a former high school official for a couple of years.
You were a high school official?
Yeah. I actually just.
Do you still have the outfit?
No, because they changed it now.
Oh, okay.
It used to be zebras.
I just thought it'd be funny to come in one day.
Oh, I did everything. So that was my first job. I tell kids all the time, if you're in college and you can be a sports official, do it because you get paid good bank. You just got to deal with some stupidity out there. But this weekend, I go to all my kids' sports games and stuff like that. So people just going off the referees. I'm like, that referee's making like $100 to referee your game right now. So if you're a high school softball official, you get $78 for a game.
Yeah.
Quick, to the point. It's an hour and a half game. Anyways, that was my first job. As a 15-year-old, I was a soccer official. I did soccer, football, baseball, basketball, everything you think of up until I was 24, maybe like that.
Wow.
So I would do high school games, and I would do high school softball, and then I did football for one season, but football was just too competitive. But then baseball just took too long. So I did a bunch of that stuff. I even thought about possibly pursuing it to the collegiate level, but then I started working here, and all that life changed. But it's hard. You don't ever want to be the story. And there's some people that are really good at the job that know the rules really well, and there's some people who know the rules and they wish they would have been cops and they try to enforce it too much. And there's some guys that are just great at what they do and you don't ever know their names. Like, you don't ever want to be the story. Angel Hernandez loved the power trip, and he loved to show you that I'm the guy in charge, but the game has changed from now. That, like, there's a lot of younger officials that are coming through. Mind you, these referees have the hardest job in the world, and they're the best in the world at doing it. There's that a Twitter account called Scorecards where they rate every single official from the night before, and you can tell how many pitches they missed. They might only miss 4 or 5. And a game that had over 300 pitches thrown. But Angel Hernandez would show up, and it's like, oh, here's the ump show. You know who he is. Joey Crawford back in the day.
Yeah,
right?
Joey Crawford.
Joey Crawford, you just knew that he was going to do things. Like Dick Pavetta, even though Dick Pavetta was older, he still was like the ref show. You would know. Like, us, because we know the NBA officials, do you notice how there's a big influx of younger officials now?
Yeah.
The older ones have been pushed up, the ones that have that ego, that attitude. So now you don't have the officials that have the charisma, but they're just so robotic.
Well, especially, too, like in baseball, you're already in danger of getting replaced by robots anyway.
With the strike zone, yeah.
This is not the right time to make yourself the story for bad reasons.
But this has been part of baseball, right? Like we were doing Rabbit Hole a couple weeks ago. Go on YouTube and find umps that lose it, right? Like,
but that was in the
70s
and 80s. Rick, Ron Luciano, and
100%. But there's still a little bit, like you said, it's a little bit of a power trip.
Absolutely.
Angel Hernandez officially retires, and that seems to be like everyone in baseball is like, thank God, because anytime you talked about Angel Hernandez, there was something negative to it. I think what you said, Travis and I were talking about this last week. The robot umps or whatever we're calling
the strike zone's going to happen.
Look, the strike zone, you're still going to have the umps. It's not like they're not going to exist. You're going to make the umps' job easier, too. If the pitch was a ball or a strike, like if there's one thing that people are most frustrated about with umps is how do you call that one low a ball, but then the very next time it's at the same place to strike? Batters just want to know what the hell they're supposed to hit.
Because you're seeing something at 100 miles an hour and you have less than a second to react to it. And these umpires, they grind. There's less. The job security is there for them because they have a great union. Angel Hernandez, as much as he wants to say that he is retiring, he was forced out. He hasn't umpired a game since May 9th. He had a lawsuit against MLB for lack of
2016 or something
for
like
lack of promoting minorities, and he said that I was not promoted because, Angel, you're not a crew chief because you're a jerk to people. Like, another thing is a lot of umpires now are throwing out people from the distance. Remember back in the day, you used to get in each other's face, Earl Weaver, Tommy, you would know why you were kicked out. Now guys are like, what'd I do? Why?
Wasn't it Aaron Boone that was like, I'm not going to say anything?
Yeah, and he got
somebody
tossed.
from the stand says something, and then he gets thrown out.
Exactly. So The union is really, really strong in Major League Baseball for the umpires and the players. So Angel Hernandez is a settlement agreement coming through of why.
It's a forced retirement.
It's basically it. He's in his 60s, let it go. And the thing is, 2 days before, The Athletic wrote a story about Angel Hernandez without him being quoted, but other players saying he was terrible, but then other officials. Joe West, remember Joe West?
Oh, yeah.
And Joe West is saying, I know this is going to sound bad, but when Joe West is defending you, I know it's not good, but he's a great guy. You know, like, you used to know these guys, but you don't know it anymore. You want your official to be a robot.
Yeah, knowing an official, a referee, or an ump, that's not good. Like, something bad happened.
Well, you know Billy Kennedy's coming to town. You know that his muscles are going to be jacked in the NBA.
Okay, if you want to know traits of these guys, like Dick Bavetta was this sweet old man that everybody liked.
But then a jerk when he's refereeing. He would tell people to shut up.
But that's okay. I don't think. Like,
but the players are different now.
You're right about that.
Players are different.
You're right about
players
that.
pop off like no other.
You're right about that. But Ireland, when he tells his story, Ireland will always say, or actually Michael tells his story, like back in the day, there was this understanding between the ref and a player. Hey, you made a bad call, and I'm going to let you know about it. You know what the ref's going to do? He's like, stop whining, just play. Like, there isn't enough of that. It's okay to have that back and forth to an extent.
I hear John and Michael say this all the time. They're treating it like the time the guy got teed is the only time he said anything.
Yeah.
These guys never.
Sure, probably started. It probably started in the first
Chris
quarter.
Paul has never fouled anybody.
Except LeBron, he never says anything.
No, LeBron will never.
I'm just saying,
No,
like,
LeBron
when
will
John
Not
and
Bronny.
when John and Michael say this, respectfully to both, they're not watching the
But
whole
it's
game.
also different now because
Well, if you listen to the broadcast, sometimes that seems accurate.
because of technology now. There's that one account that mics up. You know that Twitter account where it'll record your conversations that they're having on the floor, and it's like, that's why referees can't say anything because now
record the conversation to player and ref.
The player and the ref, because those boom mics that are above the court, somebody has this Twitter account, I forget his name, but where they get it and they amplify the audio, and you can hear what somebody's saying. Most of the time, it's one player cursing out another player. They're calling each other names, but sometimes they'll have the referee interaction. And if what we're going to do is, why is the ref talking to the player like that? The players will be like, don't be talking like that.
Okay,
because the players have so much power.
To sympathize with that, let's use somebody right now in the playoffs. Luka does not stop whining.
No.
Like, as much as I love watching Luka play basketball, that dude is complaining.
Well, guess who he grew up idolizing?
75% of the game he's
Kobe
complaining.
was a big complainer.
Kobe, I mean, Beto and I went to all of Kobe's games with media seating, whatever. Kobe never
shut
and
up.
And
Never
if you give Luka, we'll just use the broadcast as a perfect example.
No
if you give
basketball
Luka a T, then you're going to have broadcasters saying, "Oh, come on, let him, let this be." Okay, but this guy hasn't shut up since the first quarter and it's the fourth quarter.
I think honestly, I'm not trying to take up for the refs, but I think these refs have more tolerance.
Are you part of the union?
It's just the hardest thing to do for these guys who are 7 foot, so athletic, moving around.
And you can't make a mistake. And if you make one mistake, there's a replay that shows it 9 times in slow motion.
But Angel Hernandez, that was terrible.
Picture doing your job, and while you're doing your job, you have people screaming at you the entire time.
So you don't check the YouTube chat?
No, Chris.
I mean, that is true, too.
But they're not in my presence. They're not literally.
You're not here on
in front
Tuesdays,
of
are
me.
you?
Yeah, exactly.
Look, Angel Hernandez was the ump show, and it was Angel's show. Everybody knew that about him. Some of these younger guys that are coming through, they've been told kind of not to do.
I went down that rabbit hole last night on Twitter because they were posting all the videos. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them over the last 5-10 years.
They're entertaining as hell.
I think the Bryce Harper one is still my favorite.
Absolutely.
Because Bryce Harper lost it and then runs towards him. And you could see it just a little bit in Angel Hernandez's eyes. Like, he throws him out thinking, oh, this will stop it. And Bryce Harper's like...
hallucinates even more.
They're going to get going. But it's the hardest thing to do. That's why you can't
all that hair product was seeping into Bryce's brain, and he just snapped.
It's also...
He's got great hair.
Kids
he
now,
uses Suavecito, I believe.
Yeah. Kids now, they know to start chirping their referee. You go to an AAU game, 8-year-olds are popping off because the parents are
probably popping off.
And it's hard to find a quality official. So who the hell wants to do this job? And also, if you're in the minor leagues in baseball, you're probably not getting to the show because these guys don't retire. Angel was a umpire for over 30 years. That's job security.
All right,
man.
Dodgers have lost 5 games in a row. They got a doubleheader.
Angel Hernandez.
Chris is laughing, man.
Why are you happy?
He's very strategic when that happens. It's Laker related, LeBron related, and Dodger related.
I think I began the spell when I went to the game. I didn't stay for the 7th inning when the bullpen got busted. Shocking.
Okay.
Was that last Tuesday night? Yeah. So I think that was right. I think I started that because that's Mace went to that game.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
ever
They did
since
lose that
Mace
game.
sucked that cocktail out of the bathtub.
Which, by
downstairs
the way,
at Kraft, the losing began.
The thirst show from Mason this weekend. Oh my!
You could call it that, I guess.
I don't follow him for that reason.
Well, he knows we like it.
Let's do it when we come back.
God,
All
he
right,
does it always?
5-game losing streak for the Dodgers and something with Mace because I didn't see it. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. All right, I've been talking about it. Introducing the My Hut box from Pizza Hut. It's the ultimate customizable combo meal, perfect to enjoy on the go. So how about this? Your choice of a 2-item personal pan pizza or melts with a side of wings or fries starting at just $7.99. Let me say that again. 2-item personal pan pizza or melts with a side of wings or fries, and it's just $7.99, starting at $7.99. Order the My Hut box right now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Hey guys, John Ireland here.
Happy birthday to the great Kylie Minogue. Of course, she was big in the 80s, had a few hits in the 90s, and then came back in the mid-2000s. This is when this song was released.
And last year, she had basically the song of the summer with Put-Um, Put-Um. We'll play that later.
Put-Um, Put-Um.
Love Put-Um, Put-Um.
It's a live imaging Tuesday. It's a live imaging Tuesday driven by Kia, downtown L.A. The GM over there, Gary, he might be listening to Put-Um, Put-Um right now. So he buffers his Rolex after the holiday weekend. Travis and Sliwa Show, AK in for Trav. Beto is here.
Woo!
Of course, producer M and producer Cody, who's in for producer Jorge, who, much like Travis, needed an extra day off.
What's he need a day off from? Jorge.
Jorge?
Life?
He's a hard worker.
He's a young
Got 2
child.
kids.
And his wife is at home.
Okay.
Exactly right. Here comes
She's
the hook.
doing all the work.
Pot it up, Cody. I want to feel
I like
it.
her.
I want to feel a little Kylie Minogue on a Tuesday.
Scared the hell out of me.
Make sure you're watching the YouTube.
Cam, Andy didn't know I could move that fast.
I was just put
Andy's
the dough in
Neither
Kylie
did I.
Minogue.
Exactly right. You didn't know my hip could snap forward
No.
like that.
I've only seen it
You
on
haven't
YouTube.
seen him and Cap together?
No, only on YouTube, and then it
Yeah,
usually
but this
gets
whole
blocked.
contract negotiation is creating distance between Cap and I.
Okay, still.
31 days left until
Why?
his contract's
It'll
up.
be fine.
I used to think
He'll
it was
be
a
fine.
joke, but not anymore.
Well, no, it's on Cappy now. Hashtag Cappy, do the right thing. He's been handed a contract. So he's trying to turn it on us. I turned it back. I reverse bidded him.
They call that a counteroffer.
They call that awkward.
Why are you asking? Why are you
After how
asking?
Sedano and I saved his career, the only counter offer he should be making is saying
Chris,
thank you.
Chris, why are you asking Cappy to sign with the Suns for the league minimum? Why are you asking him to do that?
Do you think Cappy could get 4 points out there in one game? Just one game. One game.
What do you mean? Like in an NBA game?
Yeah.
The Cappy cast of the Suns.
By the way, do we think Bronny James could get 4 points in an NBA game?
Better chance than any of us and Cappy getting
he gets
4
fouled.
points.
Cappy could get fouled a couple times.
I'm talking about Bronny.
But he had to make the free throws.
Nobody's going to bother fouling Cappy. You let him take those shots.
I would say the same for Bronny.
Over 2 minutes left. You know, they just foul Gobert and stuff. That's what they're doing to Cap. Like, put him at the line. Cappy's hitting all his free throws.
Hack a cap.
Hack a cap. There you go.
All right, Chris, you were just talking about your baseball experience going to a game. I went to Yankees and the Padres on Saturday.
Memorial Day weekend in
Memorial Day
South,
weekend.
So you went to the
South
Yankee
LA.
game?
No, I went to the Padres.
No, you went
game.
to the Yankees.
No,
game.
I went to the Padres.
Yankees in San Diego, all Yankees. Fans.
Yankees were very happy to come visit.
Did you and Rookie
San Diego
play in
for
the outfield?
weekend. No, it was me and my buddy. Me and my buddy there. Okay, so here's you were talking about the Dodger experience. At what point do you think? I think San Diego right now in attendance, they're second in the major leagues behind the Dodgers.
Really?
Yeah, and
they're doing well. They draw well down there. It's a vibe down San Diego.
It is a vibe, and the team is good enough to where you can at least go. It's not like they're about a 500 team, but they're good enough to go.
Times have changed.
Okay. But the only reason why I bring this up is because you said when you went, and
last Tuesday night.
anytime you've gone to Dodger Stadium, I'm there with a buddy. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go grab us a couple beers. He's like, cool, sits in the seats. I go get the beers. I'm like, damn, all right. Couple guys. Not that I don't know this, but getting
it's still shocking.
A craft beer, going to get a couple hot dogs, it's like whatever it is. At what point, and maybe I don't have it, maybe there is no point to this, but at what point does somebody say, hey, I don't think I could go to these games, or this is just way too expensive an experience. You said, what, go get a hot dog. I go get 3 or 4 hot dogs. I could have went to Mastro's and got a freaking steak. Now, I know you're stuck there and it's part of the experience, but this stuff is not, I mean, especially the Dodgers, too, with going out and spending the money that they did. They're like, cool, yeah, we'll go spend the money. We're going to make it right back in a heartbeat. I don't know if this price, if you ever reach a point where people are going to say, nah, I think I'm not going to go.
I mean, clearly,
I have.
You look at the attendance, and you look at the gate. They're doing just fine.
$35 to park at Dodger Stadium. That's if you pay right then and there. You can get it earlier in the day for $30, right? Save that $5 from the day before. But everything's you're not even talking about the tickets to get in. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a family of 4 to buy tickets, Dodger tickets don't go cheap.
So my
on
plan,
weekends.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if you go on a Tuesday.
So the whole bit last
still
Tuesday
expensive.
was Mace had invited me the Tuesday before to go with him in the Mason Ireland show.
Yep.
Then he didn't buy me a ticket.
Oh, he invited you?
He invited me on
He
the air.
invited,
before.
but didn't buy you a ticket.
I
So
thought
that-
it was a Mason show thing.
No. So that day, he's like, oh, here's where we're sitting. And I looked at it. It was like $147 a ticket. I said, I'm not doing that. And my best friend, Sam, who we had on the air last Tuesday, he was going to come by anyway. So I said, why don't we just go to the game? I want to get the bobblehead, and it's a good bit.
Yep.
So I said, let's Uber there. We don't have to deal with parking. And outside the stadium, I'll buy 2 tickets. Pavilion seats.
Okay.
Yep.
Last row or whatever it was. $70 before the fees. So I bought 2. So that's $150 plus right there.
Yep.
Then we get 2 cocktails, $30 each to have a real cocktail.
$30 each.
For a cocktail, yeah.
And by the way, we just stayed in the little outfield pavilion,
Yeah.
Blue Heaven area, like the carnival section.
Fun area
Where
out there.
is packed, by the way. Yeah. You can barely, you got to tap that mic, but you can barely walk around because there's so many families there eating and spending tons of money.
What's a
Just hit it. Just hit it.
Hit it.
You got to hit it
Jack.
hard.
Come on, bam.
what's a craft beer cost?
In the 20s.
I got a Negro Modelo tall can.
That's
This
about-
after
in
the
the 20.
cocktail.
$22.
Yeah.
Well, but then again, we
All
can
right,
have
you
this
guys do the
conversation
show.
every single day. You can have this conversation
Unplug
every
it,
single
plug
day
it back in.
all over the country.
Well, the thing too with baseball that's different than these other sporting events, NFL, NBA,
It
NHL,
hurts.
that they jack up the prices
Yeah.
too. But baseball is different because the ballpark food and the beer that is considered part of the experience.
Not for those prices anymore, man.
But I'm just saying that's where they get away with a lot of it. Whereas I think like nobody considers the concessions part of the experience at a Laker game.
Because you have to watch the game. You're not getting up to leave. Because if you get up to leave, you're going to miss something. Baseball is like whatever.
Right, it's a sport
it's
you cannot pay attention to.
And the nachos at Dodger Stadium, I mean, they're so much better.
I don't know the last time I actually bought food at Dodger Stadium because you can bring your own food in now.
Yeah.
So as long as it's concealed, you can bring your water. As long as it's
which is a good way to
closed.
do it.
But it kind of loses a little bit of that flavor of going to the game.
It's part of the experience in a way that it isn't for all the other sports.
It's like buying popcorn at the movies. You don't need to have popcorn. You're probably not hungry,
You
but it's
should
part of
have
the
it.
experience.
Absolutely.
Like, it's to go there.
I do that the last time I went to a movie 10 years ago. Yeah.
All right, Dodgers have lost 5 games in a row. Which, by the way, this
sky is falling.
I'm
Oh
with
my
you.
goodness.
I'm with you. The world's not going to end. But
Ohtani's not going to play today.
It's the first time the Dodgers have lost 5 straight since dropping 6 straight back in April of 2019. Look, they got a 5-game lead in the division. Nobody thinks that the sky is falling, but they've lost 5 games in a row. They got a doubleheader today against the Mets. If anyone would chime in on this, but if I threw in, okay, what are the things that do concern you about the Dodgers? They are obviously as all in as you can possibly be. They spent $1+ as far as $1 billion in the offseason to go get Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, Glasnow,
and they didn't have the
Teoscar
sense to replace
Hernandez.
their manager at that point.
And they did not have the sense to replace their manager. I don't think he's wrong on that, but
you're going against San Diego?
What do you mean?
You wanted to fire Dave Roberts?
Well, Dave Roberts should have got fired.
Whoa!
Well, he should have got fired. What is
Sliwa coming strong?
No, I don't think he's coming strong.
I thought 619 stays together.
Well, 619. What I was going to say is,
or is he 858 or whatever he is?
Should have got fired and then came down to San Diego. That is the Padres. I would have taken that. But I
a spy.
Wow!
I don't think it's a shocker that a lot of people had a strong opinion of he should have gone. But let's put that to the side for a quick second. You look at the Dodgers. Losing 5 in a row, I don't think really means anything. That's going to happen. All right, it happens in baseball. But they do have some weaknesses. They do have. Go look at the bottom of their order, whether it's Outman, Chris Taylor. Go down the list of players that you just kind of quit. Kike is a perfect example. They also got a lot of players that have been out, will potentially come back, and I'm talking about more of the arms. Do you look at the Dodgers and have any concern? This is World Series or bust. Is there anything they should be doing that they haven't done? Is there anything that you're watching right now and saying, hey, before the trade deadline, they got to address that? Do you see anything, or do you think that's an overreaction in a 162-game series?
I think in some ways it's an overreaction. I mean, it's such a long season that, like, everything you're seeing right now, it gives you some information, but in a lot of ways it means absolutely nothing, because what's happening in May could be so much different than what's happening in August or September. It's honestly, like, if you've ever, Beto's done this.
Yes.
If you've ever covered a baseball season, like,
Bro, is there any more of a
out,
grind than that?
That's why baseball writers love Springsteen and love to complain. What up, Bill Plinkett? It's a grind because it's such a long
I can only imagine.
days.
But it's also, too, like, you have to create urgency for every single game, when in reality,
there's no urgency.
Not a lot
especially
of urgency.
for them.
Right.
Like, it's different if you're a team hovering around 500 and your goal is to make one of those wild card spots. For the Dodgers, we'll probably be sitting here in a month, and they got an 8-game lead in the division, so it's never a concern of are they going to make it.
That's why Travis can't enjoy the Dodgers anymore. When you guys start talking about this, he's so worried about October.
He
doesn't
fast
realize
forwards all the way to October.
Enjoy the process of what's going on and where they're going to get there. What are the Dodgers going to do? They're going to reload. Come the trade deadline, they're going to get an arm. They're going to find something to do to find their weaknesses and upgrade them. They're going to do that because they have shown the track record of that. They were willing to spend and trade prospects. It's going to happen.
Do you think no matter what, wherever they're sitting, come trade deadline? Because I agree with you on that. I agree that you're so all in. I think Dodger fans don't want to listen to, hey, there's a minor league player that's a great prospect that they're not willing to give up because of this year. Get
rid of Diego Cortaya.
Here's the point. Would anything stop you to improve this year before the trade deadline? Phillies are really good. Yankees are really good. There's some teams out there. I think Baltimore that's back and forth with the Yankees. There's some really good teams out there, and I'm talking about both sides. But when the goal is only to win or nothing, I don't know if it stops them come trade deadline.
Every year you don't win a World Series in this Ohtani, Yamamoto, all the money era creates that much more pressure to win it the next year.
Yeah.
So if you want to try to do this thing with as little panic moves as possible, you're best off winning right out of the gate. because then you give yourself some time.
AK,
you give yourself a cushion.
But this is just like I get the idea and concept of putting the Yamamoto, and you just went out and got Shohei Ohtani.
Glass now.
But here's the reality. Here's the reality.
That's why last year they didn't make the moves because they were saving it for this year.
The problem is, yes, you're right, more and more pressure, but there's already pressure because they've been good for 10, 11 years, and they really haven't cashed anything in.
But I'm not even talking about fan pressure. I'm talking about the pressure that they're feeling internally because they spent all this money. Like, let's just say for the sake of argument, they don't give a crap about what the fans think because they know bottom
that they're going to spend $24 on a cocktail.
Well, that was the McCourt era. Frank McCourt can do whatever you want. People showed up for it. Remember when McCourt did his welcome back to Dodger Stadium? Were you sitting next to me? There was a night where Frank McCourt was supposedly bankrupt, and he took his PR team and said, hey, we're going to go with the fans on a Friday night, and he went to the outfield that was taking pictures with all these people. And he was like $3 million he was getting no matter what.
What year was this?
The year he was in bankrupt, when he had to get rid of the team.
Here's the thing. It was not until the Dodgers situation with the McCourts was bad for baseball that they eventually said, no, you got to go.
Because the fans were still showing up.
Because fans were
Towards not as much, but they were still there.
They were still showing up.
But it's the first time they didn't show up.
There was only 30,000 instead of 50.
But once, there was that awful incident in the parking lot, and some of the stuff that was coming out about the McCourts was
like his wife buying a house just to swim in.
Right. That was genuinely
with the security guard.
Was embarrassing for the league and bad for the league that they eventually said you got to go. It's like the NBA with Donald Sterling. They had reasons for years, decades,
of course,
to get rid of Donald Sterling. But once the recording came out, that was the opportunity for them to do it because it was easiest for them to force.
I just want just to their defense here. The home that they were currently in didn't have room for a swimming pool.
They lived on the ocean.
I know, but they needed a
She
swimming
needed
pool.
to swim, but they were on the ocean. I'm actually going to go see my boy Frank. He owns the soccer team in Marseille, France. So I'm going to the Olympics. I'm watching the USA against Germany.
What's the parking lot like there?
I'm taking the train.
What's the parking lot situation?
So I looked it up the other day, the stadium. It said Marseille, owned by Frank McCourt. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I got to find this guy. So my boy Frank is there, I'm going to take a picture with him.
We had a meeting about the mics last week, but
how'd it go?
I mean, it's still obviously happening.
Cody, see what you do? See what you did?
That's right, Cody, because that
it doesn't happen when Jorge's here.
That gutless bum Jorge had to take another day off.
All right, Emily's yelling at me. Factor Cap coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Hey, guys, it's Sedano. Next Gen is the official AC Heat and Plumbing company of SoCal.
12 o'clock on a live imaging Tuesday, driven by Kia of downtown Los Angeles on the Travis and Sliwa Show. You know what we do? Time for Factor Cap, sucker.
It's so cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back. First of all, it's not a cap. It's
it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Aloha. Aloha.
I was just talking to Andy in the break about this, but I saw the movie Hitman over the weekend starring Glenn Powell, and there is going to be some billboards going up around town, if you haven't seen it already, where he kind of does impressions of other billboards in town for Hitman. It's going to be on Netflix on June 7th, but it's in theaters for a limited run right now. And I'm just going to say it right now. Glenn Powell is a superstar. I will see him in anything he's ever in. He is a capital M movie star to me.
What's his name?
Glenn Powell. He was in Top Gun 2. He was also in Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney this year. He's going to be in Twisters coming up. He's had a really big summer.
Oh, he's a good-looking dude right there.
He's very good-looking. He's very charming. And he also co-wrote Hitman with Richard Linklater, who did Dazed and Confused, Boyhood, Before Sunset series, things like that. So
Wait, who'd you guys disagree with? What was the dude's name?
The chef guy.
Oh, Jeremy Allen White.
Look, he agrees. There's some good-looking men out there.
I'm all about. I will give credit where credit's due, but the
Did you
little
unplug
chef
the mic yet, or no?
is not good.
He's tried to
14
unplug
times.
the mic and plug it back in, and we're just going to go with it. All right, so over the weekend I saw this video come across my timeline, and it is of a content creator pretending that he's sliding into someone's DMs, similarly to calling into a radio show. So just picture that. This is him leaving a voicemail in a girl's DMs.
Hey, Serena, big fan of the page. I sent that fire emoji over on Mother's Day. Listen, I gotta ask you, is it time to move on from the boyfriend? 4 years, no ring. You gotta ask yourself, is he somebody who can get it done in the postseason? Is he somebody who you can build a franchise on long term? It's leading me to believe probably not. He might be looking for somewhere else once his contract expires. So I think we cut our losses, set him loose, tank for a year, go back into the draft. And in the meantime, you pick up a utility guy, somebody who's scrappy with a wicked average wrench and can build a winning culture in the locker room. Just my thoughts. Big fan. I'm going to hang up and listen.
All right, so all that is
That's
being
awesome.
left
Thanks
as
for
a
calling
DM.
Laker Talk. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
All right, so this would work. This should work. Al, Factor Cap. Or to get like a response from the girl.
Yeah, it's creative. It's something different, and I think the fact that he's not taking himself serious, that he's joking around, I like the strategy. By the way, you're doing something different that nobody else is doing. I think it does.
So Cap. Who the heck leaves a voicemail? Who leaves a message like that?
That is true.
I'm
these
not
days.
listening to that.
Honestly, that nowadays Hinge, they have voice memos, and
really?
everyone uses them. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, did it? Okay.
Well, see, we didn't know about Hinge, yo.
No, whatever that is.
It's a dating app.
Oh, okay. Well, is it like one of the fancy ones that you have to get invited?
I don't
It is
know
not.
much.
It is free, and you can upgrade if you want to.
Oh, yeah. You know the expensive ones, right? Where you have to be like super famous.
Yeah,
to
that's
get invited?
Raya.
Oh, that Raya. Okay, yeah. Well, anyways, still though, don't leave me a message. And then also, that's a whole sports talk radio call. Like, the girl's supposed to be impressed by that?
I don't know. That's up to you guys to answer the question.
Nah, man.
Morales, what do you think? That this should work.
Nah, I would say I think your point is a girl going to think that's really hilarious, or think like, what is this? Maybe she's familiar with sports radio, but I don't know, a little too much, almost a little too much.
Too much inside.
Yeah,
Andy.
My whole Factor Cap is dependent on, has this woman ever listened to sports radio? If she has, she'll think it's funny. If she hasn't, she's going to be going, what the hell is this?
He's blocking whoever that is.
She's not even going to get what he's parroting.
That might work if she was a clone, but I don't know.
Did
Big
she grab a vine to hear
Speaking of which, Jim Rome show debuts today on
Phenomenal.
Oh, dude, when you said that picture the other day, I'm like, who is that? I had no idea that's what it was.
Well, his lettuce ain't looking as good, but that
One
happens
of
to
the
everybody.
biggest stars on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do this a little
Would
story.
you rack the call or not? That
Probably,
voicemail.
yeah.
Rack it or not?
So I went on a couple dates with this person, and first date, he paid. Great, lovely. He asked me out, so I was like, great, awesome. Second date, I paid because it was something that I asked, hey, can we do this? So I thought it was pretty, equitable, about the same price of both things. And so I thought it was okay that I paid for the second date. So, but my statement is, guys should always pay for the bill early on. Beto, Factor Cap.
Fact, especially being Latino, that's what you do. You take care of the bill, and you don't expect anything back. You show the way it's supposed to be. A gentleman is supposed to be a certain way. I know I'm sounding like old school 1950s guy, but you're the guy. If you can't afford to take her out, then don't go out. But you should always pay for the bill within reason. Now, mind you,
yes,
if I'm taking you to Masters on the first date, that's a you problem. You messed up, bro. Don't be trying too hard to impress.
Yeah.
You set a precedent that you might not be able to meet.
King Taco is where we're going the first date. You got to work your way up to the Del Rey and the butter cake, man. But no, I'm just old school like that. I taught my son that, taught my daughter that. You pay in the beginning, and then as it progresses and you move on, you have a relationship, then I got this, you got that.
Morales?
Fact. You definitely pay.
Yeah, you start out paying, and I think you also take notes of, does she seem appreciative of it?
See, I didn't want to get into that.
No, that's a good point.
But if she reaches, second date. If she does the, lobster tail, like, no,
it's a Bronx tail. It's a Bronx tail. It's the car test.
It's exactly.
Or if she
lean
matches
over to
what you
unlock
get.
the car?
Yeah, or if she's like, you know what, I'll leave the tip. Hey, all right, no problem. But don't be ordering the VOOV.
Al?
In fact, I think, AK, what you said is the most important thing. Is it genuine? Does she genuinely appreciative? And I come very similar, right? Middle Eastern culture. Really, the only battle that's fought is if it's two couples and both of the guys are trying to pay.
Yeah, that's a different
That's
story.
typically how it is. But
this is early on, first date, second date.
Yeah.
But I think setting that as the precedent.
See, my thing is I judge if she doesn't order dessert. Because you should always enjoy life. Dessert is meant to be enjoyed, to have a good time. Okay. If you're like, no, I'm watching my figure, this and that. I get that. But hey, let's split the butter cake.
Watching your figure, what is this? You really are 1955.
I'm trying to be polite. It's 10 in the morning.
You're filling in for Travis. You got to have that old time.
Right after the steak
when I show
is
with
done.
my ascot, if she's ordering a port.
All right. So I have a bone to pick, and I think it's one of the most despicable marketing tactics that has come around in the past 20 years.
Let's go.
And this is when I'm going to the mall, I'm just enjoying myself, I'm getting clothes, I'm trying on clothes, I'm doing this stuff. And then in wafts the scent of Auntie Anne's. That store's scent is so pungent that you can't help but order things. And after you try on clothes, you're trying to get into clothes and stuff. You don't feel so good. Sorry?
Which store?
Auntie Anne's.
What's that?
What is
Pretzels.
Oh, the pretzel place.
Yes.
Oh!
Okay, Wetzel's Pretzels for you
Wetzel's
West
Pretzels.
Coasters, but there's okay.
No,
I went to
not
Annie
West
Ann's.
Coasters. You're a West Coaster.
Yeah.
Get it right, lady.
Well, there's Annie Ann's at Century City where I went, so don't worry.
Both exist in
No,
Los Angeles.
only one exists. It's a freeway, not a highway. Let's go.
I'll put them both together. So Wetzel's Pretzels and Annie Ann's
Wetzel
both have the
Pretzels all
same
day.
pungent smell, and this is a despicable marketing tactic because those little girls trying to get into clothes, they don't fit, and they have to smell Annie Ann's as they walk through the mall. Okay, so this is a despicable marketing tactic. Chris, Patrick.
I mean, I haven't been in a mall shopping in a while. I mean, I've been to malls, but not not trying stuff on.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
Mom, let's go to JCPenney.
I remember the day with my mother at Mervyn's at the Wynwood Mall where she said, "Honey, I think we got to go to the Husky section."
Right, exactly.
It was a turning. Mervyn's. It was a turning
Annie
point.
Ann's is just toying with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun. That's also why I don't go shopping anymore. I don't want the heartbreak. Just order online. The heartbreak can be done in my home and smell my own food cooking.
Andy?
I'm going Cap because I don't think that the best way to actually get people to buy the Auntie Anne's is
Wetzel's Pretzels.
Or the Wetzel's Pretzels. Just
Midwesterner.
pretzel of choice.
Yeah.
Pretzel of choice with the aroma. I don't actually think that is the best place to intentionally put it when people are most body conscious and most calorie conscious. I think if they actually put it next to the store intentionally, that's a bad move. Like, that's actually bad marketing. So I got to go.
It's just
Cap
in the
on
fitting room when you're trying clothes. Hey, here's a sample.
You're like, hey, maybe you didn't fit into this and you're crying, but Annie Ann's, it'll make you feel better. Alan, what do you think?
No, Cap. I think, listen, marketing is marketing. And if the smell of that food.
I mean, what are they supposed to do? Create
I know.
aroma-free pretzels? Like, what?
You have to walk into a
have like a soundproof room, like a smell-proof room.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are you supposed to do?
I think it's Cap. I think it's actually smart, and there's a reason why they are in every single mall across the country because nobody will stop.
Wetzel's Pretzels. I get them every single time I go with my daughter. First of all, it's Cap. Great job by Wetzel's Pretzels or Auntie whoever. Cinnabon is amazing.
Yeah, that's another one.
And you've been to Disneyland, haven't you? The churro is in the air.
Yeah. It is in the air.
They spray it out there for you. It's not snow. It's churro. Smell.
There's somebody just shooting. Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yes.
There's somebody just shooting the spray up in the air.
Churro air freshener would be lovely.
And
to
if you're
step into
going to
your
the
car.
mall, you know you're going to get that no matter what.
You get a churro cologne.
By the way, churros are having a big summer with Challengers.
Wait. Churro what?
I'm wearing a churro.
Churros are having a big summer with their feature in the movie Challengers. Let's just say that. Go watch the movie Challengers. It's a great scene.
There you go. You got a tease, a movie tease.
All right, Boston Celtics already in the finals.
That microphone.
Dallas Mavericks could potentially be in the finals. We'll talk about it coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Memorial Day might be a final in many homes, but you know where Memorial Day is not a final? My boy Gary at Kia of downtown LA. The Memorial Day sale is still going on. Lease the all-electric 2024 Kia EV6 or lease the new 2024 Kia Sportage. The Memorial Day sale still going on at Kia of downtown LA, next to the 10 freeway at Figueroa and Washington in downtown Los Angeles. Go see my homeboy Gary and tell him, give me my Kia, sucker! Discover why Kia downtown Los Angeles has achieved a J.D. Power 2024 Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. I'm telling you, go see Gary and tell him to give you a Kia. Take advantage of the Memorial Day sale still going on right now at Kia of downtown LA, next to the 10 freeway at Figueroa and Washington in downtown Los Angeles. Go in there. Ask for the general manager, Gary. Tell him Chris Morales, 710 ESPN, sent you. He's still going to kind of give you that look, but he's going to be polishing his Rolex. You got to be pretty good selling cars to get a Rolex, sucker. And then you say, hey, Gary, give me my Kia, sucker!
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted?
In front of 12 o'clock on a live imaging Tuesday driven by Kia of downtown LA, the Travis and Sliwa Show. This music, of course, the theme song to one of my top 5 shows of all time. A year ago was the series finale, and we were all glued to the television, and I was texting M in a frenzy pace.
I'm the eldest boy.
When Succession said goodbye. I still miss it. Like on Sunday nights, I miss The Sopranos still, but that was a long time ago at this point. But Succession, I miss. I miss having that appointment TV on Sunday evenings.
And it was the finale of Barry as well at the same time. And I feel like
Barry was
my boy Barry.
Barry was great.
And there
Barry's
hasn't been
ticket.
like the same like appointment television since Succession.
There's something
ended.
missing right now.
Yeah, I need it. But Succession was great. The finale I thought was a great finale.
I was going to say, did it end the right way?
Yeah.
It ended the way. And honestly, okay, Chris, do you know about this?
No.
Where there was an extended scene where, so the final shot of Kendall is him looking out into the water nearby in New York. And sorry, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert.
A year later.
But like, there's an extended scene where Jeremy Strong went over the rails.
Yeah.
And was going, like, they had to stop him and bring him back, and it wasn't really planned, and they thought that was going to be the ending of Succession, but instead they came out with a more ambiguous ending. But I think they all ended up where they're supposed to.
Well, what I love about the ending is they basically all end up where they began the series, which just shows, like, for all these people, they're so rich, nothing matters. Like, it doesn't matter to any of them how any of it turns out.
What a problem.
Because
Shiv and Tom are worse.
They're going to be fine and miserable no matter what turns their lives take.
And rich.
Yeah. They're going to be financially fine, and they're
I
want
to take that chance of being in that position.
Give me misery in St. Thomas.
I want to take that chance.
I was saying, I think the only person that's worse is Shiv and Tom.
Yeah.
Shiv and Tom are worse. They're the ones that Tom was kind of blissfully ignorant of how bad Shiv can get, and Shiv was blissfully ignorant of what Tom could do.
Did you watch it, Beto?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of rewatching it.
Oh, it's great. It's a
Because
great
there's
rewatch.
nothing else on Sundays. I started watching that one.
I never watched it.
The
I probably
Informant.
watched the season.
It's about
Sympathizer?
Oh, the Sympathizer.
No, Sympathizer,
That's the one with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
Robert Downey did so many great characters. I caught up again yesterday. I'm like, that's cool, but I need something on Sundays. I'm thinking of Succession again.
Yeah.
Should I try it
it's
again?
missed.
Should I try it? Or is it
House
too
of
Did you
the
finish it?
Dragon?
You finished it, right?
No, I watched like a season maybe.
You're a bad guy.
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
a bad
it's
guy.
all
No,
and that's why your microphone isn't working
he's a
properly
busy
today.
guy.
Could be.
He's a busy guy.
What's
I
he
love
busy
you.
with?
But you're not serious people.
We don't know. He
Go ahead,
doesn't tell
Chris.
us, but he's
Go ahead.
busy.
Go ahead.
He's got a lot of things to do. He's got a lot of things.
Listen, if we're good, we're good, as somebody once said. He's still on my phone. DeMarco was fascinated that this was my screensaver or my lock screen.
What is it?
It's Logan.
Logan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it says,
interesting. That's
says
a little
I
interesting.
effing win, except it doesn't say he effing. It just says the word. Meanwhile, when Andy sits in, I'm always fascinated by what he's eating.
turn my microphone
And I remember
off.
the old days on the morning show when he would sit in for Trav with Key and LZ, myself, Raj, everybody. One time he walked in at 7 a.m. or got it out of the fridge like a poke bowl.
Like sashimi or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it's
Yeah.
7:15.
Yep.
Now today looks like a little bit more normal for this time of day. It's what you were tossing a salad during the break.
I was.
What kind of dressing do we have on that salad?
It is a homemade. I mean, it's not much to brag about, but
You made a homemade dressing.
Yeah, it's just lemon and
It's
lemon
a homemade.
juice and oil, salt,
It's
and
a
pepper.
homemade Hidden Valley.
Now it looks from here, and if you're watching on
Homemade
YouTube
Newman.
at ESPN Los Angeles, looks like just lettuce. I don't see anything else in it.
There is.
You got a little accoutrement in
There's
there?
two different types of lettuce. There's arugula and romaine.
Okay.
There's also
Very nice.
the tri-tip that we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, let me try that.
I already ate it.
Your famous meat from the
You had
weekend.
your chance, bro. I told you, 10 a.m. What do you think was
I thought
happening?
you were
You're
setting
a
aside.
catch. You make your own salad.
I thought you were setting aside meat for me.
There is tri-tip, white cheddar, cucumber,
Yeah.
purple carrots,
Give him a
red
bite.
onions.
Can you give him a
This
bite?
is why when
not the
pass
salad,
over the
not the salad.
salad.
This is why I always
No.
tell you, your wife is lucky.
Why do you say
That
no to the
Texan
salad
lucked
like
out.
He
it's
is lucky.
the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world?
Because
I tell her every time.
There's a difference between handing me a piece of meat
Yeah.
and then me eating part of his
Would
salad
you like
bowl.
a piece of meat from the salad?
No, it's fine.
Get in there. Put your
No,
hands
you
in
didn't
there.
set aside
meat.
meat for me.
I
so.
thought you lost interest in it, to be totally
No,
honest.
I said I would do it later. I need to take my A1G or AG1 first.
Is there something going on? Because in the break you said
Yeah, there's a
something
vibe in here,
happened
huh?
with AK, with you.
There's tension
and
in here.
now there's the, hey, I saved
Sign the
you some
contract,
meat,
AK.
and then I just ate the meat.
We don't have contract.
38 days.
Well,
Everybody's on a countdown.
we'll never forget Mandy's 2 when him and his brother decided to blow the rundown out
They
of the
killed
water,
it.
out of the
They
gate.
killed it.
That was the best part of Mounties too.
They killed it.
But it
I
took
wasn't
away
there, but I heard
precious
it was great.
stage time
Okay,
from
wait.
Chris, so-
I got a real question here. How long were they supposed to go on for?
So I'll tell the story because he's a liar.
Oh, not the same story.
Originally, I think I said like 3 to 5 minutes, and then
3
I
to 5
checked
minutes.
back in.
Okay.
I saw their run. They sent me like their list, their set
The
list.
Oscars, you have to send your script.
I didn't need it, but he did. He wanted to do
We
it.
wanted to make sure that every joke we
Play the
told
music off.
was passable with. Because there were a couple that
With Disney.
walked the
Well,
line.
they're lawyers?
There's
Tom
some that
Brady
walked the
roast.
line.
So then,
Okay.
after reading it, I went, "Wow, this is good." I checked back in with them and said, "Hey, do 5 to 7 minutes. That's
Bumps
fine."
it up a little bit. Couple more minutes. Okay.
Now, when the performance happened last year at Mandy's 2, and I'm not saying it wasn't bad or good. I thought it was fine.
Okay.
But the
The
problem
audience certainly thought it was more than fine.
It was amazing.
But see, this is the problem with you.
Women were taking their shirts off. I mean, it was crazy. I never seen anything like it.
How the
They were throwing
audience
beads up on stage.
How
I've
the
never seen that
audience
before.
feels is not as important as how the leader feels at that moment. And the leader of the Mandy's
How
at that
did Mason
moment,
feel?
Tommy Lamb was ready to turn the lights off and stop the show.
Tommy was?
So he was looking
The
at me.
nicest guy?
No,
Wait,
he
why?
literally was looking at me like, "What the f is this? Why are they going so long? What are these jokes?" And I was like, "Well, I approve the jokes." He's like, "This sucks. Get them off the stage."
Whoa!
So
listen,
that's where I
listen,
was.
This is the first I've heard of this.
I've known
No, I've
Tommy.
told you guys this.
It's the first
no,
Tommy's
not
heard of
Tommy.
it, too.
You've
Yeah,
told
I've not,
me
I've
about
not
how
heard the
unhappy
Tommy.
you
Guys,
were like every 5
we only need
minutes.
one voice talking to them.
Let's all
Can
do
I
it.
talk?
Let's,
It's my
let's all
show.
do it. Let's all do it. Ready? 3, 2.
But Tommy,
So what did you say, Sliwa?
I said Tommy. I know Tommy pretty good.
You
I
don't know
if
this new
Tommy's
Tommy.
saying. I don't know if Tommy's saying what you
don't
just
know
said.
the Tommy over the last 2 years who I might have helped make him this way,
Okay.
just to say, who has risen to the ranks of running the entire place now.
He's killing it.
Last year was his first shot, and it was
Okay.
at the camps.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
so I was so concerned.
Interesting.
Because remember when I popped out and said, "Guys, how long?" That was because of Tommy. I kind of was like, "Good, guys, this is less time for me. I can keep back here having cocktails." So when I went at the intermission and checked with Sam Pine's owner and said, "Hey, the Cam Bros, I know they went a little long." He thought, I thought it was great. I said, "Oh, okay, well, we're good."
I mean, look.
And
this-
Tommy jumped in and said, "No, this is not good."
No, Tommy admitted later he was wrong. He
Okay.
was a little upset. He didn't realize
All I can say
how
is-
blue things might get.
Chris was aware of our set list and the time of the set list. Chris actually asked us to add jokes.
I did.
He actually requested, by definition, that we go longer. What he wasn't taking into account was having to hold for laughs and applause. That honestly added
Sure,
some time.
that's probably another 30
Because
minutes
you're
right
just
there.
too funny.
We were.
Listen,
too funny.
you guys did a great job. And
Thank
this
you.
year, I'm interested to see how Trudell and Geeter do with it.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow, they're the roast masters.
I'm joking.
oh, Trudell and Geeter.
Well, Trudell and Geeter are going to be there, but I don't think
just
they're
saw
roasting.
Tommy come down the hallway. He went to the kitchen. Did he
Do you
come
want to get
down?
Tommy in here to
No,
talk?
I'm just saying that.
I mean, do you want to have
I don't
like a
know if
preliminary
Tommy,
roast off?
He
between-
gave me a bad look. I'm like, why I wasn't on the set?
Well, he's not a huge fan of yours.
I wasn't on the set. I was throwing it this way.
He's more of a Travis guy, frankly.
Okay.
But the golf, that's more the golf. thing.
Mandy's is turning into Festivus.
So Mandy's 3, are you guys
Got a lot of
interested?
Paulo
Are you guys
people.
are you guys attending Mandy's 3? I haven't heard yet.
I mean, I don't always even assume I'm invited.
Well, no, you're
Ooh,
invited.
Tommy's getting the Girl Scout cookies.
Okay,
that's fine.
so
He's got Girl Scouts.
how
No, but he's
long?
got the Girl
How
Scout
long
cookies.
Yeah, but
was
he's
the
got 3
actual
girls.
set?
No, but
when
he's
you had the
eating, like,
5 to
all
7
upset.
minutes, how long did you actually end up
We
going?
thought it was about 5 to 7 minutes, but
It was 21:19. We timed it in post.
I mean, look.
Is that a real number?
Yes.
If you,
No, it wasn't.
if you
Well, that's a
think-
lot of applause.
If you think Geeter and Trudell,
That's just gonna be Manhattan Beach joke.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
exactly.
it.
if you think
Oh,
the two
behind
of
the gates
them
and
can
pickleball,
stay
huh?
on time, if you think that they can keep the show on the rails, I mean, I have plenty of
21:19.
suggestions of ways to.
Do you think we can keep it between 10 and 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look.
Just don't applause, people.
I was not
no
even
applause.
assuming. I was not even assuming that we were invited to do this again.
Oh, of course.
You're not.
He just added it. He just added it to the
Let me
rundown.
look at the rundown and let me see. Sure. Because this year's a little tighter. We got some major announcements happening.
Okay.
All right, we mentioned Celtics and the Mavs. You have kind of an interesting point here. This could be
Good
the
segue.
This could be
That
what
was
do you
so
want?
abrupt. Slee was like, anyway.
What do you want-
basketball.
What do you
Woo!
want the segue to be? What do you want the segue to be?
Just maybe go listen.
Tommy just walked by. He didn't even look through the glass.
Celtics, Mavs. Tommy's coming in here too. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Now is a great time to visit the Commerce Casino and Hotel, located 7 miles south of downtown LA, just off the 5 freeway. Come experience some of the best action that SoCal has to offer.
Tuesday. We play the Grateful Dead as a tribute to Bill Walton, who passed away over the weekend, the legend. He was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, deadhead in America. The Travis and Sliwa Show, AK sitting in for Trav, who needed another day off for some reason. Producer Emily's here. Producer Cody sitting in for producer Jorge, who also needed a day off. Slee in the A chair, that's why his mic hasn't worked. And usually we do Mondays with Beto, thanks to our friends at Northgate Markets. But today's a Tuesday with Beto.
Let's go.
Who spent a lot of time at that massive, beautiful, brand new Northgate in South OC.
Yeah, in Costa Mesa. I texted you on Saturday. Northgate Market, NorthgateMarket.com is where you got to go. They have locations everywhere, but the one in Santa Ana's good. The one in La Habra is good, but the Mercado is the special one because the Mercado is where you can go and get whatever you need. The Mercado in Costa Mesa. So here's how it worked, AK. My daughter had a soccer tournament in Newport. Some of the parents said, hey, there's that new Northgate Mercado. Yeah, I might know a thing or two. I don't know these parents, right? We all went there. You walk in, they have a carniceria. The carniceros, fantastic. So they hooked me up some carne asada that I grilled on Sunday. Then they have a cevicheria. You want some ceviche? Boom, right there.
Bam!
I would be all over that.
Yeah, Mike, you need to turn your mic on, sucker.
Use mine.
Yeah.
Here, come
So-
over here.
But I did have some Northgate Gonzalez Market ceviche on Sunday at a barbecue, and it was
so
incredible. It's
good.
always the best.
They have the tacos al pastor, the spit right there going. Then they have the tortas estilo de Guadalajara, like the chivas. So if you need some goat, they got it. Boom. So
Straight out of Guadalajara.
Yes, sir. But the best part about the Mercado is that they have the outdoor patio. They have the TVs on. They had a great setup. Right next to that, the bar. Hey, kids, you want churros? Here's some money. Go get churros and come back for
Go get some churros, suckers.
The micheladas, so good.
So this is Club
Palomas,
This
so
is Club
good.
Northgate.
Oh, it became Club Beto. That's what it became. So we went there as a team, for an hour between games. We stayed there for 3 hours. So my daughter's soccer team, remember I said I don't talk to the
They
parents?
missed their game.
After the third hour, Beto is like the spokesman for Northgate. We had a great time. The Northgate Mercado, we do a lot of good stuff there. The carne asada, out of control. I cooked it up on Sunday. Fantastic. I'm texting Morales. I'm like, this is where you and I are going to take over. They have a stage right there. I can already see Morales working it. So Northgate.com is where you want to go. NorthgateMarket.com. The Gonzalez family, fantastic people. They hook us up. Oh, and Mondays with Beto, do not take a Monday off.
Okay.
Because we're going to start having food.
Oh.
We're going to have pan dulce. We're going to have cafe. Whatever you need. So if you're not
ready, we're ready to go.
Start coming in on Mondays. Northgate.com. NorthgateMarket.com is where you want to go. Every visit has a story. Love them.
Absolutely. And on your lunch hour right now, swing by a Northgate. Oh, yes. Get some of those ready-to-make tamales, and they're incredible.
Oh, they have the chicharrones too. Oh, my goodness.
We got him here.
The senior director of marketing, but more importantly, the general sales manager. And when owner Sam Pines is in the building, he's the top official.
Yeah.
The one and only Tommy Lamb.
He's the sheriff in town.
Sam Pines isn't going to be in the building for till Mandy's time. So right now, top official Tommy. Now, true or false, Tommy? Last year at the Commerce Casino, backstage, when the Cam brothers went past the 7th minute,
They
did
said
you
5 to 7 minutes.
Did you not look at me and say, what are they doing up there? This effing sucks. Go get them.
I said it was long. I
said
don't
it
know if
was
I said effing. I
I
know
don't.
if I said
No,
Tommy
you
is
were
the
Tommy.
nicest,
I don't
most
see Tommy
professional
as an
man.
effing guy.
He gave me the constipated face, and that's when I know Tommy's mad.
Yeah. It from backstage it appeared a little long.
And a little racy.
Well,
A little edgy.
it's a roast. I mean, it's supposed to be edgy. It is a roast. And Chris will attest to this. We ran everything through the proper channels, the channel being Chris.
Right.
Like, is this okay? We're walking the line here. Are we stepping over the line? We were assured with all of them.
And
not
Chris
stepping
even
over the
said,
line.
hey, a little more material. I could use a little more material and go a little bit longer than I originally thought.
Here's what I would say after the fact. I think we were talking to people. They loved them.
Yeah.
So I told Chris I'm wrong. They were great.
Look, this is the first I'm learning of it.
Yeah.
I thought that this was all just Chris being upset about his own lack of stage time.
Yeah, his own mic
and the
time.
stage time being taken from him.
No,
I didn't realize,
I get plenty, trust me.
I didn't realize that there were corporate interests involved with this, that like the suits, as it were a little bit upset.
So now
I
you
didn't
can be
realize-
sponsored. It should be sponsored.
Should be sponsored.
Yeah. If it's not sponsored, you ain't doing it, bro. Hold out for more money.
Okay, so we got some.
So like I
details.
said, Trudell and Geeter will do it.
Well, you and your brother doing it again this year?
It's your decision,
They
Tommy.
don't know yet. Chris is trying to. I don't know if
We
he's
were not aware
changing
that
the
it-
roster
that
right
we were
now.
officially being asked to do it again. We didn't know.
Tommy wants you.
Okay.
I think the people. I think the people want you.
Well, the people definitely wanted us that night. I can tell you.
Yeah. See?
If you guys want to come back, we got 7.5 minutes for you.
7.5 minutes.
Right.
7 minutes in heaven.
Tommy will not. He'll just walk out
with applause included.
Yeah, that's true. So there's going to be a counter.
Tommy, like a pitch clock in baseball.
Yeah.
There it is.
You know what? Have a timer up there. Like actually have
That's
like a
a good idea.
digital timer.
So you got 7 minutes and 10 seconds. That's what you need right there.
Tommy's going to be in his car, and we're going to text
7 minutes and 10 seconds of sponsored roasting.
Yes. And Morales in the middle just cuts in. This brought to you by.
Perfect.
I mean, could it be sponsored by Northgate Market? You know, they roast.
Hey, why are you trying to take my sponsorship, bro? Come on.
Yeah, Beto's like, not this one. Let's find a different one.
But I can get some cocktails for them. Little Paloma.
And he could
one?
have Sprouts.
And Sprouts.
Tommy, you ready
Cinnabon.
for Mandy's 3?
Yeah. When are tickets go on sale?
No.
No?
Not one. Keep listening.
Oh, I got to keep listening?
Yeah, that's how
I
it
think
works.
it's a tease. I think it's a tease, right?
All right, so you're ready to go. The listeners
He's
obviously
very
ready
upset
to go.
because this year, and I'll talk about this next week.
Okay.
This year we're doing a lot to make the show incredible, but I'm breaking the budget a little bit. So Tommy is
There you go.
He's giving me the constipated face a
Good
lot
job.
these days.
Well, the Kamenetskis are doing it for free now.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Little over the budget, but we got a lot
Tommy,
of
you
new
don't need to be
partners.
here.
We're growing our partner
Tommy,
base
you can
there.
leave.
We're
You
good
don't
to
need to
go.
be here, Tommy.
Yeah, but
Lamb.
Tommy,
good to
Tommy's
go.
like Travis.
Okay.
He squeezes that quarter
Yeah,
till the
it's
eagle
okay.
screams.
Sometimes you have to. You got to have a little.
But the buck
little
stops with him.
balance
He
there.
needs to.
Well, yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Trust me.
We got to look at the P&L. The P&L.
Yeah, the P&L.
What's that?
Profit and loss. Profit and loss. That's all Tommy's looking at. Tommy's just looking
It's
at
all
the numbers.
profit here, man.
Well, this year, because of Tommy being in charge, it is all profit. This is the first time the P&L looks this way.
Sure.
So salute to Tommy.
I believe that.
Tommy and Sedano have kept this place at GKB. Because without them, at 710 we'll be playing whatever the network's running right now.
Playing classics.
They're breaking down.
We're playing country.
Breaking down Boston Indy right now.
Exactly. To levels beyond comprehension. Well, thank you, Tommy. Take the rest of the day off, would you?
Guys.
All right, take care.
Brought the Girl Scout cookies in too.
Yeah,
Look
thank
at
you
him.
for the
He's all
cookies,
set.
Tommy.
He's
Appreciate
all
it. I'm
set.
good. Oh, he did not want to be in here for that.
No, he's good.
That's when you're a big time.
I didn't know it was 21 minutes.
It did not feel like
Felt
21
like
minutes.
19 minutes.
18.
18 at tops.
Tops.
Tops at 18.
Again, a lot of applause.
All right, so we got to the bottom of this. By the way, him saying that Tommy said effing, yeah, that's not happening.
No, it was. Tommy with me, backstage, under
Okay,
pressure.
yeah, maybe with you. Yeah, maybe with you. He's saying
Under
that.
pressure.
He's not saying that in the public.
No.
He's not saying that to public guys.
No.
So you
there
guys
go.
want to talk a little NBA Finals? Or
No, I was going to keep on Mandy's 3. So go vote now. Have you voted yet? ESPNLA.com. Click the Mandy's 3 voting page. You can vote Show of the Year, Producer of the Year, Fill-in Host of the Year. In here are 2 nominees.
Nah, vote Ramona.
Momo's
And keep listening for details on when tickets will go on sale.
Momo's creating a dynasty with that category.
Meanwhile, the
Staying
voting
open.
page made possible by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
Love it.
Call Joseph. Okay? It's 213-747-2000. 213-747-2000. Injury attorneys you can trust. It's like family over there. Para la familia.
And you can vote every day.
Vote early, vote often, vote multiple times in a day. We don't mind multiples.
Yeah, because Mason is over there with campaigning, and it's become so annoying to me that I'm going to start voting. I haven't voted yet.
Wait. Is Mason actually campaigning?
He's using different names to vote every
I
single
think
day.
Mason is going against his philosophy
No.
of
Mason
not
wants it.
campaigning.
No, he wants it. He wants it so bad. So I'm going to go and start my
He should
bot
get it.
campaign. No,
He should have it.
No, I'm going to vote for Ireland just to upset him so bad. Actually, I've been saying we should, in the Sedano and Cap circle, I've been saying vote everything that's not Mason in Ireland. That way their show gets shut out.
Okay.
And they can be so upset about it.
Keep being our Susan
Because,
Lucci.
because John doesn't care.
Yeah,
John
John
care.
genuinely.
But John
Doesn't
also
care.
has won.
Exactly.
John's won multiple awards.
So no
Those Donald
Bergman,
too, right?
no Laura, no Brian, no Mason, no Ireland. The entire show gets shut out.
Most knowledgeable Andy's won play-by-play.
Yeah.
Right. So
And
why
Mason
does
will-
Laura and Brian have to suffer?
See,
They're-
Because you want the entire show
No,
because
no. What you
because
want-
No,
Mason,
Laura and Brian are fine.
No,
Laura and Brian
They're
are
part of the show. They're gone too.
No,
everybody's
they're okay.
out.
No.
No, everybody.
It's worse if everybody with the show but Mason wins.
Oh,
That is funny, isn't it?
That's actually what you want. If you want
No,
the bit
that's
to pay
Morales'
off,
dream, I think. That's your dream.
if you want the
I would
bid
like
to
Mace to
pay
win,
off,
but it's not my decision.
I
so
want
you
Mason.
vote.
No, because he's campaigning. I want him to lose.
but they also like
democracy.
Laura, Brian, Ireland, multiple trophies, nothing.
Oh,
for
and he
Mace.
just watches them, and he tries to sneak into their picture.
Here's what I don't get. Sid.
No Mason. No Mason.
I think
No
Mace.
Mason.
I think Mace takes it this year. I
Because
do.
he's campaigning.
Host of the year. I think Mace takes it this year.
He's not here enough.
Everybody calm down so we can get this on tape for the promo. Here's the problem, mate. Slee. I got to do it again. 3, 2, 1. Here's the problem, Slee. Why are you not campaigning to create the most painful night for Mason at Mandy's 3, which is not just him losing host of the year, but you winning yet again? And yet again, the camera will be on him for his reaction, and he won't win when we open up that envelope.
Well, technically, that could happen if anybody else wins.
But you should
he's
be
campaigning.
Listen.
He's actually voting.
If Sedano won it, if Cap won it, if Ireland won it, if Travis won it, the camera's still going to be on him.
I mean this in the nicest way possible.
No, you don't.
With
that setup.
What hurt the most, as what was the band that did that song? That Diamond Rio.
Mm-hmm.
What hurts the most wasn't being so close, but Slee winning host.
Yeah, but
that killed him the most inside. So doing it again?
I'll ask Mace when he's in here. He's
not
here.
Whenever he's here.
He's never here.
I don't think that
we can't vote for him.
I don't think that matters a lot.
Backstage,
I think the fact that he's losing has got to be something.
Backstage.
Okay, how about Cap?
He was trying to hit dial tones on his own and say, I didn't even know Sliwa was a host.
There you go.
Yeah. So we need the Sliwa campaign. Because if he loses to Sedano, he doesn't care because George is George. You know how he gets. Captain, Cap is whatever. So
if Ireland wins, he'll take it as his own,
Yeah, if he loses to you, let's go. Because,
that burns.
Yeah.
Have any
vote Slee. Vote Slee.
Have any of you guys noticed?
Vote Mace. I mean,
no!
It's okay. Vote Mace. It's okay.
You're ruining it.
It's all good.
How can you campaign for you when you're not going to vote for yourself?
There it is, Diamond Rio.
I think I already told Mace I'm going to vote for him.
Well, you're a gutless bum then.
Let Mace get one.
Why?
Mace.
Have any of you guys noticed, because I genuinely have not, how does Mace react? Like, what is his clapping and like his body language? Does he look like one of those guys?
Well, today's a Mandy's Monday, or I guess yesterday was, so maybe we might not have the footage. But for Mandy's Monday coming up, we should have the footage of him losing.
Why do we got pizza?
I don't know.
He
It's not
stands
pizza.
up.
It's Ike's.
Oh, it's Ike's. Yeah, it's the sandwiches. He stands up cursing. He's like, son of...
No, because you know how there's always, like, you go to the Oscars, there's always the man or woman who thought they were going to win, and they're very politely clapping through clenched
like Angela Bassett, like 2 years ago.
Like, is that Mace?
Mace he says it on the air that he registers to vote and he uses a different name every single time.
He doesn't even vote in the
but
elections,
wait, do you
but he
even
votes in
need
this.
Because you can vote as many times, why is he registering a
Your
different
emails.
name? You just keep... Yeah, but you can vote as many times.
Yeah, and he does that all day long. That's what he's doing today.
His
we don't know that
collection
for
of burner
sure.
phones, all for Mandy's.
He wants to win.
Can't you just hire like AI and just go ahead?
Or one of those like
bunch of
content
Russian
farms.
bots.
we get some. That's how Kaplan won the first year.
No, he didn't. Stop.
No,
no,
AK.
no San Diego bots.
No,
AK.
No 619 bots.
Sliwa 350 votes. George 380 votes. Mason 1.4 million votes.
No, if that was
hire a couple AIs.
If that was the case, because Sedano and Cap won Show of the Year by like a dozen votes. It was close. That's why you have to, just like in the real world,
your
very
vote
defensive.
Matters. You were very
Price
defensive
Waterhouse.
of his,
I don't
of
like
his bots thing.
Because that's not funny. That's like when John says it's rigged. Like, we don't want that.
Okay,
we
but
want people to feel that this is special.
Why is John saying that then?
Mason just
because
needs
he's just trying to give me
votes.
He's just trying to give me a hard
That's all
time.
he needs.
John's just trying to give me a hard time. But I don't see them. The only person who really
Price
sees
Waterhouse sees them.
the only people that see them are Tommy beforehand. Now Janessa, the marketing manager.
Yep.
Because they have to send the names so that the trophies get printed, and then Jorge, because producer Jorge builds the video packages. Those are the only people that know.
Was Tommy
beforehand.
able to concentrate, given how upset he was at me and Brian that
Well,
night?
it was already done.
Okay.
It's already done.
What if Mace?
Listen,
What if
No,
Mace?
do not vote for Mace.
I wouldn't mess with Tommy.
What if Mace?
Anybody who's messed with Tommy ain't here anymore. So I'll just point that out.
I found out 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
AK, what if Mace has an attorney next to him in the moment? It's like it's rigged, and then he files a complaint to 710.
Jacob and Ronnie.
Takes it to the Supreme Court of Travis and Sliwa.
We got lawyers. We got lawyers on deck too, bro. Don't worry about it.
I need you to find the votes.
Find a bus right now. We got
No
all
more
kinds of
hanging
lawyers.
chads.
All right, I guess.
Hanging Mace.
I guess I bought into Mace's not caring. I guess I bought into that.
Oh, he so cares.
He just doesn't want you to win, Slee.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you should be worried. All right, Travis and Sliwa show. Beto in the house, AK in the house. Obviously here for Lit. Stay right here, 710 ESPN.
12:18 on a live imaging Tuesday. Driven by Kia of downtown LA, we play the Grateful Dead to remember Bill Walton, who passed away over the weekend. I had a great Memorial Day weekend, but the sad note of the whole thing was waking up and Bill Walton's no longer here. We all love Bill.
This was a song, by the way, Fire on the Mountain by the Grateful Dead, that the Forks used to play. This was a regular part of our set.
If you missed that, the Forks was the name of Andy Kamenetsky's band.
In high school.
High school
No
band.
spoons.
What?
I said forks, no spoons.
No
Exactly.
spoons. No knives.
And they're coming back. They're opening for
Pinadors.
Yachtly Crew in September.
We are.
Yachtly Crew's not aware of it, nor is anybody else, but me and AK are aware of it.
7-minute set.
Hey, you never know. We could all dream, can't we? We dream for Mace to return, but he's not back. So it'll be Ireland and Ramona around 12:55 with Super Crosstalk. Then we got a combo plate. They'll go till 3 o'clock. Shaq Cappy, but it's Cappy and DeMarco Farr this afternoon. I believe the rumor is they've got a very special guest. It's not me.
Yeah, 3:30 they got a guest.
So don't miss that. And then we will bring you coverage at 5:30 p.m. I want to say Nuggets continuously. Mavs and T-Wolves. It could be the closeout game. We'll see if the Mavs end up doing what the Celtics
final,
did.
if
It
you
could
will.
be a final. And then both teams got quite a little break until the NBA
Yeah,
Finals.
they go like 8 days off before they play.
That means full shows here at 7:10.
Okay, wait, quick question here. So your set was 21 minutes at the Mandy's.
Apparently.
21:19.
What if would BK be okay with a 12-minute set and then the final 9 minutes? Or no, go 14.
The Forks
go 14 because you just said a 7-minute set for the Forks. Maybe you go 14 leads right in your guys' set for the last 7 minutes.
It's a lot. It's not a lot of runway as far as our prep time. Getting back to our Fire on the Mountain peak, not going to be easy. I've not picked up drumsticks in years.
By the way, I want to say this now at 12:20 on Tuesday, December. What's the date? 27th. 28th. On Tuesday, December 20. Not December. On Tuesday, May 28th. Can't be December fast enough. Anyway, on May 28th, do the right thing. Not just Cappy, but do the right thing, Los Angeles in the Southland. Vote Alan Sliwa to repeat as host of the year.
Let's go.
Be a proud American, would you? And you could vote now at ESPNLA.com. Click the Mandy's voting page logo, presented by our friends at the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
C says Slee. C says Slee.
I'm Alan Sliwa, and I approve this message.
There you go.
This is the start of a dynasty. Last year it was not a fluke. It was the start of a dynasty. Watch out for Alan Sliwa for the years to come.
Could be Denver. Could be the Nuggets. Got it once. And then,
they lost
just
the
gone
shirt.
after that. And then just gone after that.
We're going to build you up.
And then if you win, I want you to get up on stage.
Okay.
And crowd surf.
And look right into Mace's eyes and say, I own you. I own you, Steve Mason. And if you were smart, you never come back to 710 again.
Why don't you just do this with best personality?
We're going to vote for that, too.
Win your second for best personality, then you can stare at Mason in the eyes.
But Mace doesn't care about that. He cares about
wants to be host of the year.
Yeah, he cares about host of the year.
He's campaigning for a host of the year every single day. Yeah, what's your name? Andy Kevin. Let me use your name to vote. Okay. The dogs have voted. Everybody's voting in that household.
Just needs a bot. I'm telling you, one good AI bot.
No, there's no bots allowed. Morales blocked them all.
There's no question. There is voter fraud going on
how can it be
Mace's
voter?
behalf.
There's
on
voter
Mace's behalf.
There's voter apathy. So
Well, yeah, we say vote early, vote often, vote as many times as you want. But I want you to look into his eyes and say, what?
Like there are deceased people voting for Mason.
Yes,
in the Mandates.
Well, a lot of them are Mason Iron listeners.
Wow, you said it. I caught myself, but you said it. There you go.
Ouch.
We'll go to the
You
Reddit
say,
page.
Mace, I own you. And then you show up on Monday, that Monday after to do the show with John, and say, no, this is the Sliwa Ireland show.
3
now.
words. Who's your daddy?
Yeah, that's what you
Who's
do.
your daddy, Mace?
Go up there with a card and just say,
By the way, if you win,
Mace, I own you.
No, and
Thanks.
if I win 2 in a row, there's nothing to say. Like the words have already been
By the way, you know
spoken.
who's voting against Mace the most?
Who's that?
You know John is. Just as the bit. John knows that it would be an amazing bit for Mace not to win.
All right, Ireland.
Look, it's not that you won 2 in a row. It's that Mason lost 2 in a row. To lose the U for host of the year,
And
when he pretends he doesn't listen,
If John takes home his third most knowledgeable host, which I think he probably, I voted for him for that,
Yep.
and possible third play-by-play, which I also voted for him for that. I mean, that's really just sticking it to Mace.
The award that Ireland openly does not care about.
Yeah.
Openly does not.
Which
care.
one of the
Host of the year?
Host of the
So
year.
that's why you get all the votes.
He wants Mace to win.
We need you to campaign. We need shirts.
But I think deep down he doesn't want him to win.
I can make some shirts right now.
Okay, who wants to win other than Mace? Who do you think would really like
Cappy.
to win that award?
Cappy.
Okay, Cappy's a
Cappy and
close
Mace have
second.
Cappy won the first year. You won last year.
Yep.
I think deep down Cappy wants it again.
Okay.
Especially with this whole contract stuff coming up.
Oh, that'd be what a great tool to use walking into that.
Can that be a bargaining
What a way
chip?
to leave.
I don't think Travis would mind winning it.
That's how you leave on a.
Okay, I agree with you. I think Trav wouldn't mind winning it, but Trav's not going to probably say too much. To win it.
Sedano doesn't necessarily want himself to win it, but he likes when, like the first year, he was taking credit post-show for the win. Like, hey, look at what we created. We made this happen for Cappy. So any win for the afternoon show is a win for Sedano.
How do we get you to buy in?
They
Al?
did win
Come on.
Show of the Year
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need you to buy in. We need you to be vicious. We need smear campaigns.
No, you gotta just be you. Just gotta be myself, brother.
Well, then we need you to campaign.
It wasn't for him last year. Being
Yeah, but
Alan
that-
Sliwa.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
But
you
now
know.
he's saying, I don't care. You can't do that.
It's not that you don't care, but I'm not gonna spend my next month campaigning to
You're not
win
gonna
host
stoop
of the
What are
year.
you going to do? Break down the
Is
NBA
what you're
Finals?
saying.
Who cares what's going on? Denver's playing.
Don't get me started on the NBA Finals. I got plenty I could break down there.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock tonight, but we need you
Oh, that's
10
right.
to 1.
No, now it's 7 o'clock after the game tonight.
Yeah.
So probably around 8:30. Lakers talk. Let's
about
see.
8:30.
So we need you 10 to 1. No Mason.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't have to say anything. If you guys want, you're
Okay,
already
forget.
campaigning.
We
for
don't
it, so just
campaign
do
for
your
you.
thing.
We don't
Do your
campaign.
thing.
We're only here once a week. We don't campaign for you. We campaign anti-Mason.
I think that will get Mason
Or
votes.
pro-bit.
I think that
will
will get Mason votes.
Anti-Mason, approved by Alan Sliwa. Everybody loves you.
It's like the elections in this country now. You just vote for the guy who is the other guy from the guy you don't like.
Let's vote for the guy.
Pretty much.
Emily, are you in with us or not?
Yeah, I'm with
Well,
everything.
first off,
Travis
we
Sliwa
got to get Em one of these.
Well,
that's easy.
Now, and
That's a given.
that's it. Well, she's.
I might
it's a
or
tough
might not have voted for
competition.
producer M. I only say that because if I say I did vote, then I'm going to hear about it from other
Right
people.
now.
I think
Vote
every
Emily.
producer is worthy of winning producer.
All
of
the
the
producers
year.
here are fantastic.
And
They
so
do a great
I
job.
would be honored if I was chosen, but I know every choice is really great.
So
but
are you?
any Travis Sliwa?
Are you afraid to tell other producers that you voted for M?
100%.
Why would you be? Why would you be afraid?
I'm afraid. I'm
Why would
afraid
you
of
be
one
afraid?
in particular. So, yeah.
Funch ain't doing nothing, man.
I'm here. I'm here.
Lindsay
Vote
would
for
not
me.
be mad at you.
Yeah,
she
he's
would not
happy.
be mad.
I'm here.
Vote early and vote often at ESPNLA.com. Vote for Mandy's 3, the voting page made possible by
Vote.
Joseph S. Normand.
Let's
The law
go.
office is over there. It's like family out of familia.
Vote
I'm here.
Slee. I'm here, Funch.
Did you hear Funches?
What a campaign.
I'm here. Wait, were you here for that?
No, but I heard it and I was like,
The
this
Funch's
guy.
pitch?
Now you guys understand.
Well, okay, so
I love that Beto's new bit is just bashing Funchy.
What do you got against Funch? What do you got
bashing
against Funch?
Funchy's producer skills on
Nothing.
the air.
It's just 20 years of knowing him and he plays along with it. So it started off because he doesn't have Instagram. So I would show up and he, Funch.
and he
would-
also has never seen The Godfather.
But I'm
Just a
okay
heads
with
up
that.
on that.
But
Well,
Fun-
neither's Lindsay.
Yeah, but Funch is a guy who's super serious when he's working. You know this. So I would harass him on my Instagram, and he didn't care. And he's like, "Man, leave me alone." Blah, blah, blah. And people were like, "Dude, you're so mean to him." I'm like, "He knows what he's doing." But then his wife started following me, so I had to be nice to him. Then his wife was like, "No, I love it." So I just jump on even more.
It is entertaining.
so she did.
Yeah.
The Instagram.
Everybody is pro Funch, anti me, and it's hilarious.
I thought the strategy of the wife coming on just ended everything until the wife was like, "No, go ahead, Beto."
Yeah, well, she knows. I mean, we've known her for years too, so she's great. And we know how 20 years of knowing the guy, you can harass him a little bit. He's the only guy who hasn't gained weight in 20 years. That's why I don't like him.
No,
Yeah.
Mario.
No, he hasn't.
Mario.
I'm here.
But Mario doesn't drink, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Funch is expensive because I take him out.
Funch drinks.
After
Yeah.
every Laker game, I take him to the
Funch
JW.
Yeah,
Comes
how's that dude not gained any weight?
He doesn't eat. He has no kids. He has no stress. He's
I don't
fine.
have kids, but I got plenty of stress, and I eat a lot.
Well, it's because you're in charge of the station here.
I am not.
Yes, you are.
No, I am not.
You're in charge of campaigns.
Well, I
You're
might be in charge of campaigns. I'm in charge of bits and campaigns. Tommy Lamb's in charge.
We got some good rabbit holes coming up. I got a good one. That's very random. This is what freaking happens on YouTube. Rabbit hole coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. All right, Prize Picks. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. You can pick more or less on two or more player stat projections for a shot at winning up to 100 times your cash. Okay, a couple things to keep in mind. So tonight, we got the Western Conference Finals. This is how easy it is. Carl Anthony Towns. All you got to do is pick more or less. By the way, that total, 19.5 points, Cat has been awful, by the way, so I'm going to go more on this one because he's got to do well because their team's down 3-0. Luka, 30.5 points, more or less. I'll actually go less on this one just because Dallas is in a good position. You got to imagine that a lot of the defense for the Minnesota Timberwolves is going to be on Luka. I made my first $10 deposit, received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you can play for a shot at turning your $10 into $1,000. Download the app today. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on PrizePicks for a deposit match of up to $100. Play like everybody else here at 710 ESPN. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki, founder.
Singing which direction we are going.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Nothing can definitely go wrong, especially when we've had a long weekend that we could get into as many rabbit holes as we want.
Oh, yeah.
A rabbit hole is whatever's been occupying our mind over the past couple days that we just spent way too much time getting into. So, Al, what's your first rabbit hole?
Okay, so yesterday I'm watching YouTube. Most of my rabbit holes is coming off YouTube. Some people are TikTok. They watch some of the shorts, whatever it is. But for me, it's YouTube. And it's the most random things that I don't typically have interest in. So there's a page out there. It's got 3.5 million subscribers. It's called The Detail Geek.
Okay.
What these dudes do...
Cody just had a
yeah, like
response.
He knows what I'm talking about. Yep.
He went, ugh.
These guys, so they find cars that are typically old cars. There was a Ford F-250 about 35 years old. And it was in this barn, whatever, at somebody's house, whatever the case is, or on a property. And it hadn't literally been taken out for a ride or anything like that for over 30 years or whatever the case is. So, AK, what they do is they get the car, it's in its original condition. They tow the car out from where it is, and then they take you through from beginning to end the detailing of the car. So they're kind of pointing out, it was actually kind of interesting. It was an F-250 Explorer. It's before the Ford Explorer became its own car. So it's still a truck. So kind of one of the originals or whatever it is.
What year is this again?
This is, so they said 35 years old. Yeah, whenever it is, okay? And they walk through they remove every piece of the car, not necessarily the engine, but they'll take the seats out to this. And you just see this process from beginning to end of them taking this old classic car. There was I think it was a Camaro, something like that. I forget how old it is. It only had 250 miles on it. That's it. So like they go through this whole process from A to Z. Kind of addicting to watch. I think anytime you watch cleaning stuff, like if you've seen guys that go around and they're cleaning yards and they find homes that are completely.
Do you speed through that? Do you want the audio? Because I just want to watch them go through
from
it.
The beginning
no
to
one
end.
narrate anything. I just watch it on 2x speed and just get the satisfaction of it all getting mowed down.
So on that, I'm with you on that.
Or in detailing.
On the
I don't
yard.
need to know the detailing details. I just like to see it happen.
If it's 30 minutes long, it's tough to sit through a 30, but I'll sit through like 10, 12 minutes, something like that, forward a little bit towards the end. So that was my rabbit hole. It's called The Detail Geek, and it's on YouTube.
All right, shout out. Beto, what's yours?
That's intense right there, The Detail Geek. Which, as you were doing that, I was texting my boy Pops' mobile detailing to come to the house later on this week.
Shout out.
Oh, yeah, he does good work. If you need your car detailed. Anyways, so I went down this rabbit hole yesterday. What's that show I was watching? I'm sorry.
Tell me a little bit more.
The Vietnamese show.
Oh, The Sympathizer.
So I was watching Sympathizer. It finished. And then I'm like going through HBO Max. What can I see? What can I see? And for some reason, you know when you think you're on one app and you end up somewhere else?
Okay.
So I ended up looking for more Vietnam movies. I love Vietnam genre. So I went down this making of Apocalypse Now, making of like all the Vietnam
Have you seen
movies.
Hearts of Darkness, the documentary about making of Apocalypse Now? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, so the napalm. I smell napalm in the morning. All that stuff.
Smell of victory.
Yeah, and then I went down a rabbit hole also of Full Metal Jacket. The drill sergeant
R. Lee Ermey
was a real drill sergeant. So I knew that, but it went down of who he was and kind of thing like that. So that was the first one. That took me for about an hour.
Very cool.
And then I ended up on this other one that's called, it's a Korean baseball. It's the CK Monsters.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. The show is called A Clean Sweep. And it's a reality show. Retired Korean baseball players, one last chance to play, but they're
Totally
not
interesting.
Right? They're not in a league. What they do is they get these guys retired and they play against high school kids that are on the come up, or they play against college teams.
Okay.
And so it's called A Clean Sweep. And it's kind of long because they do a lot of the behind the scenes, family style. They really don't show much of the game. But the manager is an 82-year-old man who is a legend out there. And he stands there with his fungo and his puffer jacket, just like the one you wear when it's cold in here, Slee. He has his cap, and he's in Korea, like 10 below Celsius, and he's making them run. And then there's this one pitcher that he's like, okay, everybody's throwing 30 pitches today. This dude ended up throwing 100 at his bullpen. He's like, what am I doing? Because he's the older, respectable gentleman, can't do nothing. And he goes and tells the guy, here, you need to come learn to hit. It's like, I'm a pitcher. Grab a bat, grab a tee, 100 swings. So I ended up watching it. The worst thing about this, though, is they bring them in to meet with the GM to tell them, hey, your salary for next year. They started pranking a few of them and saying, hey, sorry, you're cut. Your career's over. You're done. These dudes are crying like it was such an honor to be here just to put on the uniform one more time. We're messing with you. All the producers laughing and crying. These dudes are like big monsters. Like, hey, that's messed up. Of course, being petty, I loved all about
They
this.
Michael Scotted them?
Yes, that's exactly it.
This is literally the definition of rabbit hole.
Yeah, a clean
look where
sweep.
he went.
Yes.
Like, look where I was. Look where he went. And anyways, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, clean
That one
sweep.
sounds
It's kind of
good.
long, but you fast forward a little bit. It's a Korean baseball. So that, and then the making of Vietnam movies.
All right, AK, what's yours?
I mean, I don't think I can top that rabbit hole, but I talked earlier in the show about how because of the dog sitting situation with the new dog that we adopted on top of it, there was a lot of time spent over the weekend at home. But my daughter and I yesterday, or 2 days ago, did manage to get away, and we saw Grease at the New Beverly. Like, she loves the movie Grease, but she had never seen it on a big screen before.
Oh, that's cool.
She's seen it a million times, but we saw it at the New Beverly. It was a lot of fun. But every time we see the movie, we always end up laughing about how all of these actors cast as high school kids are
And they're 41?
Well, okay. Here's a rundown, because I went down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
A rundown of the ages of some of these central, most memorable characters in Grease at the time of when Grease came out
love that.
in 1978. John Travolta, who played Danny Zuko.
He was 30.
24.
Okay.
He's among the younger.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
really?
one. That one
Okay.
sounds closer to what some of these
Among
ages are
the
going to be.
younger of these central Grease characters when the movie came out in 1978. Olivia Newton-John, who played Sandy.
24.
30.
Oh, jeez.
30.
Okay, great.
When
And
Grease
half
came
her
out.
age, great.
Jeff Conaway, who played Kaneki.
Hickey from Kaneki.
15.
Pack of smokes. He was 34.
28 years old.
Okay.
Stockard Channing, who played Rizzo.
Ooh,
28.
20...
31.
35?
34 years
Oh,
old.
my God. Riz, no wonder Riz is Kaniki.
Yes.
34?
She was actually ready to have a child. She wasn't even upset about being pregnant. Didi Cohn, who played Frenchie. Side note, the sister of the great NBA photographer Andy Bernstein.
No, it's not. Really?
Yes. That's Andy Bernstein's sister who played Frenchie.
26.
23.
Okay.
One of the youngest
Frenchie
of any
was
of them.
cool.
Michael Tucci, who played Sonny.
Oh, jeez. 45.
Close. 32 years old.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
32 years old. Lorenzo Lamas, who played the jock Tom. Remember that Sandy was using to make Danny jealous?
That's Lorenzo Lamas?
That is Lorenzo Lamas, one of his first roles.
21.
Close, 20.
Oh, wow.
20 years old. Dennis Stewart, who played Craterface. Remember the guy with the car with the flames that came out of the tailpipes?
The names.
Craterface.
67.
25.
31 years old.
I can't get any of these.
And then finally, Annette Charles, who played Cha-Cha, the dancer with the worst reputation.
27.
30.
30.
Wow. 30 years old. So this was the round that went down.
They're all within 18 years of being 18 years old.
All of them were drinking on set like nothing.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's crazy. And also the New Beverly is a really cool theater to go to.
It's great.
Cody, what about you?
So over the weekend on Sunday, I was here
with your snake.
Don't tell anyone that I bring Chuck.
Weekend
to the
Sunday,
studios.
the snake is open.
You're short timer.
Nobody was here. But before that, in the morning, the night before on my TikTok, I kept getting a bunch of F1 TikToks.
Yeah, Monaco.
Yeah.
And Monaco was Sunday morning, I think.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
So the
Shouts out
entire
Leclerc.
Sunday and Monday, I watched Drive to Survive. I watched the first 2 seasons.
Good.
And I watched a bunch of TikToks, a bunch of YouTube videos. So I'm all bought in. And actually, a funny backstory is part of working in social media with ESPN. We get to see some of the celebrities on the court at the Laker games. And I actually got to meet Charles Leclerc and Esteban Ocon.
He met you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Beto.
He knows you.
And then I got to meet them. So it was kind of cool, the little backstory between F1. It's really interesting. I would say when I was younger, NASCAR, F1, all that car racing stuff would be the stuff that I'd put on to go to sleep, like take a nap. But now I'm really interested because there's so much money that's invested in Formula One.
He also bought a McLaren. Bought it specifically over Memorial Day weekend.
I thought you were going to go down the yacht rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh, I saw that's a whole big thing too.
Yeah.
The culture, the yacht culture in Monaco for the Grand Prix. It's
the
crazy.
The bigger the yacht, right? The money they're spending. Like one of the yachts, you can convert your helicopter pad into a basketball court. Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, Drive to
put our
Survive is
kayak
still
right next to the
still
yacht.
a really
AK.
good series. 6 seasons. Congratulations to Charles Leclerc on the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, and it's also I've heard him talk about too. Is he talked about
Charles
doing this
Leclerc.
for his dad because his dad had passed away and
That's
he
right.
always wanted to win Monaco. It's his first time winning Monaco. It's his hometown race.
Yep.
Shouts out to Leclerc. All right, so my rabbit hole.
What do you got, Em?
Is so I'm gonna preface this by saying it sounds like it's gonna be really bad, and it might not be as bad as you think. So a group of Irish tweens released a rap song because it's called The Spark, and it was created by Rhyme Island, which is a youth rap initiative in Cork. Cork is a city in Ireland. And the kids work together with a local producer named GMC Beats in the Cabin Studio, a music to create creativity-focused nonprofit in a suburb of Cork. So anyway, all that being said, this is the absolute banger that these kids
Final
put out
product.
there.
Oh my god.
How are you not bopping to this? It's a complete banger.
Doesn't take as much effort as you think. Em.
It's been all over my
Ray
TikTok.
produced it.
They're going so hard.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you can say that.
Oh, they're going to be playing this in Peloton classes pretty soon.
I mean, it's amazing. It was all over the radio station in Cork, and it was all over
the
my
radio station in Cork.
my TikTok. And and also I think Killer Tomlinson talked about it on her late night show. But I thought that this is the song of the summer. So get ready, guys. Get ready for The Spark to be the song of the summer.
I miss Taylor.
All right, I don't know if I'll be listening to I know AK.
No, you
drive
are.
home.
Okay,
All
all
the
you
rejoice.
haters, these are
go.
little tiny Irish kiddos. Come on.
I didn't say anything.
Slee had some major shade.
Yeah, it's.
The good beat.
By the way, it's
Good
all
beat.
good
Look,
that
Just
they did
because-
it. It
just
doesn't mean
because
I'm
they're
going to
little
listen
kids
to
doesn't
it.
mean we have to pretend it's good.
They're going real hard.
They're going real
How many
hard.
followers do they have?
Probably now. They're probably killing it.
Well, after this show.
I don't know. I got to look it up.
What's their name?
It is, well, it's through the Rhyme Island, a youth rap initiative.
This is not rap, by the way.
So what's the name of the kids? They don't have a.
This is
not the
It's a
as hip hop
huge
as it
bunch of
gets, like right out of the Bronx.
Like I would not say this even sounds like rap.
No.
It almost sounds like they're cheerleading.
Like Kids Bop.
Yeah, and I don't even
Haters.
mean that as a
Haters.
This is not
Haters.
a rap.
You're saying this doesn't sound like one of Nas's
Why
albums.
is it not rap?
because they're not rapping.
Because it's boppy.
I mean, the basic definition of rap, they're not
It's
hitting
too pop.
What is the definition of rap?
Rapping.
I think they're rapping.
They're not rapping. They're just sort of
No,
chanting.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't sound.
Like, I don't even
This
mean
is
that
Kiss
to,
FM.
I don't even mean it to say it's bad. I'm just saying it's not rap.
Seacrest would approve this.
Sounds like you all hate kids and you hate
right.
this song
That's right.
because you're being haters.
Yes.
No, it
no,
sounds like a pop.
yes.
It sounds like a pop band. That's what it sounds.
Yeah.
It sounds just like a
I mean,
pop band.
it sounds almost like a cheerleading group.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Killing it in the cheerleading group section.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Bring it on.
It's the cheer
Oh,
of the
it's been
summer.
brought.
There's no question.
All right, we got the dump coming up next. Stay right here.
Did you? Thing we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
Some more time to think about it. What did you just say to me?
That song's a classic. You know,
Banger.
once it sits with you.
Yeah.
Like it really.
Song of the summer.
It's the.
Oh, let me go get me a Guinness right now. I'm ready.
You said you need
Oh,
like
Jameson.
a commercial break.
I
Help.
feel like I was whisked over to Dublin.
Yep, exactly.
Let me
right.
start drinking. I'll let you know how I feel.
All right, we got birthday. The great Jerry West turns 86 today. It's funny, and both of you guys chime in on this just on an NBA front. When you think of Jerry West, for me, the first thing that will always come to mind is obviously his time with the Lakers, right? Going out there and making the trade on draft night for Kobe. His story about telling that he was trying to keep Kobe under wrap, didn't want him to work out for other teams. It's interesting if you look at even in today, and I know he's still consulting for the Clippers. I believe so, right? Still consulting for the Clippers? I think.
But he went to the Grizzlies, actually.
He went back to the Grizzlies?
I think he's back there.
Let me go
I don't know if he's
really?
doing
check
stuff
the old Wikipedia, see what Jerry West is up to.
But think about this, AK. He's 86 years old.
According to Wikipedia, he's still with the Clippers.
Yeah. Anybody else that can accomplish more than he's accomplished, and oh, by the way, the logo of what else can you possibly accomplish in a profession?
You know what's funny though? Like I say this not to take away anything from Jerry West when he was a player, because he was obviously a great player.
He kept losing.
I was
in
going
the
to
finals.
say it just lets you know how much sports radio, sports media, the way we talk about things have changed.
Yeah.
In today's modern sports era, especially through the goatification of this stuff, a guy who lost that many times in the finals would never be called Mr. Clutch. Ever.
Great point.
Like, and again, I'm not saying it to say that he shouldn't have been. I'm just saying this is how much things have changed, where it's all just about the championship or you suck. Mm-hmm. That's the way we boil down this stuff.
He the only person to win the Finals MVP as a losing team?
I think so. I don't think anybody else. Yeah, I think you're right on that. By the way, which also would, to go to your point, that would never happen.
No, it would never.
That would never even be considered.
And by the way, this trend I think is actually for the worse. Like I think the way we now take in sports has gotten worse.
As in, you suck if you didn't win a chip, or what?
Just the codification of everything, where everything is just about count the rings, I actually think has made the way we take in sports worse. Mm-hmm. So when I bring up that Jerry West wouldn't be called Mr. Clutch, I'm, again, not saying that he shouldn't have been. I'm just saying it speaks to how much things have changed.
Even, I think of inside the NBA when they're doing their show, and Barkley and Shaq are going out and making points. You know what Shaq's point he always brings up to Barkley? Well, I got 4, you got none. So, and I know that it's joking around, but to an extent, that is kind of how you perceive a lot of these players. Okay, think of the players. Did Karl Malone win one? He didn't. Did Dan Marino win a Super Bowl? He didn't. Did John Stockton, Charles Barkley?
Well, look, you want to know a big reason why a lot of players from Jordan's era, why it's so important to them that Jordan keep being called the GOAT? It's because they need a reason to justify that they never beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Adam Morrison can go and look at his rings.
Exactly.
Yep. Who's a Slava Medvedenko? He can look at his rings. That's all you need.
Slava's got 2.
Slava's got 2.
Yeah, Morrison's got his.
All right, Lance Stevenson, you guys remember back in the day when he blows in the ear of LeBron's during Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana wins that game 93-90, but loses the series in Game 6. It's funny, and so the anniversary of that day, I always think of players. I'm like, what are things that come up? You guys remember, because this is it's an obvious one. Nick Young taking the 3 for the Lakers and turning around, putting his hands up. He's like, it went in, it didn't go in.
Nope.
The Lance Stevenson one was, how can I get under the skin of the best player in the NBA? This is in 2014. So this is 10 years ago. And Lance Stevenson's strategy was, let me blow in his ear. Yeah. It's kind of funny because that scene always comes up. However,
that meme
it
shows
comes
up everywhere. Anytime there's a thunderstorm, you see Lance Stevenson coming out here.
It's like a top 5 NBA meme. Probably 2 of those are Michael Jordan himself of crying in different ways. But
the crying Jordan and then Lance.
Yeah, and then also
what are the other ones?
Well, the LeBron like looking up through the top of his eyes with the band on. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what game it's from. It's when he's in Cleveland and it's like, oh, he's basically
a little
smirk
on him. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
The Chris Kaman on the bench is always good.
Oh, Kaman's a good one.
That's a good one.
Sleeping on the bench.
That was a great
Kaman
one.
Airbnb'd the bench.
LeBron going like this to J.R. Smith.
Oh, that's another one.
Play anyone? Yeah.
Yep.
There's all kinds of good ones.
Yeah, Lance Stevenson's another one on there.
The Draymond shaking Kevin Durant.
Yeah, the pointing at Durant, like the point, right? Like, oh, yeah.
Barry Bonds hit his 715th career home run, passing Babe Ruth on the all-time list on this day in 2006. I know we spent, Travis and I talk about it whenever it comes up, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. You kind of look at that era of baseball. both of you guys grew up watching baseball. I don't know where you guys are today of how much you guys enjoy it back in the day, but I know they were all juiced up, but damn, was that not that? If that wasn't the golden era of baseball, I'm not saying it was the best era. I'm not saying that it was clean, but what I'm saying is everyone, whether a big fan of baseball or a casual fan, was watching those races.
I mean, the way I see it with Bonds is we know that he was great because
he was great before.
Yeah, his time in Pittsburgh alone would have gotten him into the Hall of Fame. And if the whole era is juiced, then in a lot of ways the whole era wasn't juiced. Because one way or another, it levels out the playing field. And everybody knew that this was happening, and everybody just turned willfully a blind eye because it was good for the sport.
I remember watching that at your bar. Where your bar?
Western Brewing Company.
No, there was another one next door to it at UCLA.
Oh, Malone's?
Malone's. I remember watching that. I was at UCLA partying. Not that I went to school there, but I had a good time. Shout out to my Anderson people. And we were at Malone's, and we went to go watch specifically because it was going to happen, and it happened like, whoa. This actually happened. And it was like, I mean, there wasn't no speculation because there was no social media, right? Well, it would have been you knew if you're a hardcore fan, but the casual fan wasn't really paying attention.
Look, when like the McGuire-Sosa thing was going on, or like Bonds at the time.
Stupid.
Everybody. I was not in this industry at the time. I knew they were juicing. Like, it was obvious that they were juicing. It didn't bother me. But the idea that this...
He had the protein or whatever it was in his locker.
The creatine.
The creatine, there you go.
The cream in the clear. Like, this stuff was obvious. Like, the idea that, the media took a while to discover it, no, they knew. Or if
there was just too much attention and too much money being made.
They were awful at their job. If they didn't know.
And the ball was... I remember going to San Diego to watch the Cubs. Sammy Sosa was in town to play the Padres. Mm-hmm. And Sammy was on fire that year. And it was a day game. And remember, you look up, you're like, wait, Greg Vaughn has how many home runs now?
50.
Everybody was...
But this is why...
Wait. Wasn't it Brady Anderson that hit 50?
Yes, 50.
Greg Vaughn got 50. I know he did.
He ended up with 50,
everybody.
Yeah. But it was Sammy and McGuire, and then Greg Vaughn was towards the back, and he was having a monster
But
year.
this is why it bothers me so much when you see these sports writers that will not let in Bonds or McGuire or people like that. I'm like,
you were there.
You should have lost your votes on this.
You were there.
Like, if you did not do a good enough job gatekeeping this because it was obvious.
Yeah.
So if these guys shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, you by extension shouldn't have votes anymore.
One more here I want to throw here. We'll get to Super Crosstalk. Pac-12 had its last contest as the Pac-12 this weekend. Arizona walk-off win against USC in the Pac-12 tournament. I was
watching that game. Roxy Bernstein did a fantastic job on the play-by-play. That game was extras, and SC actually had a no-hitter going through 7 innings. A kid out of Huntington Beach named Aoki was pitching for him. But Roxy did a great job signing off on it because he was also the broadcaster for the last Pac-12 network game. And then Roxy had a tear in his eye, and he mentioned something to Bill Walton, where now it kind of makes sense where the next day Walton passed away. So I don't know if he knew or anything like that, but at the end of the day, Roxy Bernstein did a fantastic job representing the conference because he went to Berkeley, does a great job here at ESPN Radio when he does games. But the way he signed off, he said the final Pac-12 on ESPN. It was a great job by him.
I don't think SC. You say there's certain schools I know are not come back. Do you guys think that because of so much movement in all of these conferences and what's happening in college, will we get some kind of version of the Pac-12, but it's lesser schools, not the big boys, not the ones that left and are going to the Big Ten and some of these other schools? Do you think that's it? We'll never see the Pac-12 again in any type of iteration of it?
Done. They could have done so much to keep it, but then the greed got in the way.
The minute USC and UCLA were leaving, it's done. Mm-hmm. Like the conference died.
You're the Mountain West.
Yeah. They ceased to exist the minute there was nothing to save.
There's nothing.
John, you think gone? Never coming back?
Yeah, and there's going to be a 30 for 30 one day on how bad Larry Scott and George Klevikoff botched this.
Terrible.
Arrogant, stupid, incompetent.
Keep
and
going.
I'm using kind phrases. I mean, I read an article this past weekend that USC and UCLA had to leave. They were... The Pac-12 schools were getting paid like 1/10 what all the other schools were getting paid.
Of what they're
and
worth.
they told him about 10 times to Larry Scott, make a deal with DirecTV, make a deal, do this.
Anything.
Get a deal with ESPN, do anything. And their arrogance ruined everything. And by the time they got Larry Scott out, Kliavkoff was behind the 8 ball, and he couldn't do it. Now he's out.
Yeah, he was a casino guy who came in. Like,
Look
oh,
what
we're gonna
happened.
do this.
Look what happened with the Big 12, who was behind the 8 ball too. Brett Yormark, the commissioner for the Big 12,
Kevin Warren,
he basically jumped in and started getting these deals with ESPN while the Pac-12 still sat in the background.
Same thing with the SEC. I mean, it is a lesson in mismanagement that if you guys use the term rabbit hole on your show, you want to go down the rabbit hole. Google what ended the Pac-12 and look at the decisions that Larry Scott made, and you will see one of the great lessons in business incompetence of all time.
Yeah, just Google how much the Pac-12 was paying in rent in San Francisco.
When they were, by the way, there's no team in the Big Ten in the Pac-12 in San Francisco.
Yeah, the Pac-12 TV headquarters in San Francisco because Larry Scott wanted to live in this big high-rise.
That 30 for 30 comes, I'm all in on that one because that is fascinating if it happens. All right, let's do some. All right, Beto, let's do some Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, Mace out today. He is back tomorrow. John and Ramona, we think. Think there?
Well, we think Mason will be back tomorrow, and we think Ramona will be in today, but both are, as you know, TBD at all times.
I'll keep my phone on.
Yeah.
AK, where do you want to start with the... So there was some question marks about how long their set was during the Mandy's.
Yeah, okay. If I had to guess, they went an hour and 17 minutes. No, I would say
this is not going to help your case because I thought the 21 was exaggerated. Do you think they went 21 minutes?
Oh, easily. I looked at my watch 8 times while Andy was up there.
It did not feel 21 minutes.
Because you were in the middle of it. I'm surprised that Morales didn't get a physical hook and hook you guys off the stage.
We were giving the people what they wanted.
People wanted it.
Yeah, but nobody wants I MC a lot of events, and the events that work is when you leave people wanting more.
Yeah.
The events that don't work is when someone goes off script for 21 minutes.
We did not go. Okay, first of all, we did not go off script. I would say, secondly, comparatively in terms of overall stage time, we were not the people giving perhaps more than they wanted.
I'm trying to remember who would.
Just think about who was on stage the most. You can do the math from there.
Oh, are you ripping Morales?
I'm not saying anybody in particular. I'm just saying think about the people that were on stage the most.
Yeah, the award shows, any type of, like the Mandy's or any type of Momo's here.
Ooh,
boy, Momo, TV Momo, looking
TV
good.
Momo,
yeah, you look like
$1
$1 million.
Thank you.
Momo walked in. She opened the door.
She's got this.
The door opened itself.
She's got this kind of. Well, it is. Hey,
YouTube just zoomed in on Ramona.
Hey, Clipped is less than a week away. Isn't it a week from tonight that regular people can see
I
it?
gotta get my hair done. I gotta get my dress. I did some at the runway, but I'm a little nervous.
You look ready right now. Whoever did your makeup and hair today, just have them do it next week.
Like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay, are you excited or stressed or both?
Both, yeah.
Okay, walk us
like it's been it's 10 years that you've been working on something like this, right? But it's also like now there's real people involved, and I'm the one who knows all of them,
right?
And so I'm kind of nervous about how people see it because I'm going to get those calls, but that's okay. I mean, I expect that. Nobody really likes to see themselves portrayed on screen. I think people did a pretty good, honest, fair job of that. But that whole thing is stressing me out.
Right. Everything I've seen, all the trailers, all the promotions. I mean, they look.
You worry about
they look
reactions.
fantastic.
I think the show's really good. So that makes me feel confident going into it because you're like, okay, it's a good show. Like, I mean, but I have to just not worry about whatever NBA Twitter thinks or whatever,
Do you know yet what you're wearing to the premiere? Who you're wearing?
No, see, this was the thing.
I had just done Rent the Runway because I don't own things that you wear to premieres. And I don't want to go drop a few grand on something I'm going to wear once, right? So I just Rent the Runway, and then last week FX told me, they go, oh, by the way, we have a styling budget for you. And I was like, really?
They just dropped that on you last second?
Last week. And
AK, you know what they told her? Money's not a thing. Whatever you want.
But that means that you can have a stylist pull some looks for you. They just need your measurements and your size. And I was like, I would love to do that, but I just don't have any time between now and then. Like, it's in the middle of the playoffs. Like, I have a story to do. I'm like flying around. I want to go to Oklahoma to go watch Stanford in the World Series. Like, we got kid stuff, family stuff.
Were you at? I'm trying to think. I was listening to some of the post games. Okay, all right.
And then I was in Dallas this weekend.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought I heard you in some of the post game shows.
Oh yeah, asking questions. Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in
the series,
Minnesota and Indiana.
Yeah.
I just Indiana. Doesn't this series feel, the Indiana series, the Boston sweep, didn't that feel a lot like the Denver Lakers series?
Yeah, totally.
That Indiana was ahead in almost every game.
Yeah.
And they just continually wet the bed late.
Yeah, and they now have taken the mantle from the Lakers for most competitive sweep ever.
Yeah.
Somebody said that
I think it was 27
yesterday.
total points.
But I think the
Lakers
difference
was 22. The Lakers was 22, this most recent one. Even last year was 24. So bring it, Indiana. Get better.
Yeah, but the difference with the Pacers, if I'd have told you the Pacers, well, if I said the Pacers were swept by the Celtics, no one would say anything. But then if I said they had a 90-something% chance to win game 1 in the final, couple of seconds, game 3 a chance. I mean, yesterday you were just waiting for them to lose. The fact that it was the Pacers, Tyrese not there, I think it had more to do with the context.
If you want to look for a common point in terms of the Lakers and the Pacers, what they've been going through, Pacers lost to a team that even while they had leads, Boston had more experience together closing out. Denver had more experience closing out. Like, continuity matters.
Well, Minnesota, this is their first time in the conference finals in 20 years. Anthony Edwards is an ascendant star, but he's not there yet. And you see, this is where you have experience with Luka and Kyrie that matters. It's just so Dallas has been trailing in the last 5 minutes all 3 games, each of the 3 games.
Yeah. So, and how about this? Denver trailed by double digits in every game to the Lakers.
Yeah,
and they won 4 of 5.
Yeah,
because they just don't panic. And Andy, back to your point, these teams that are winning, Boston, Denver when they beat the Lakers, Dallas. They don't just have one; they have 2 closers.
Yeah, that's right.
On all these teams, and those guys. I can't tell you how many times in the Shaq and Kobe era, and then afterwards, Kobe and Pau, it mattered that the Lakers had 2 closers, because if you take the number 1 option away, think about this: if you take the ball out of Kyrie's hands,
good luck.
Then Luka's just going to kill you.
Yeah.
And like you said, Momo, Minnesota theoretically on paper. They have Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. They're not there yet, particularly Towns. He's just not. And so Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are.
Yeah, and you know what? They've had their failures. And I thought it was important that Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the conference finals.
He looked surprised too,
right? He was. Well, he was surprised.
Well, he's the shine going to Tatum,
and his teammates were very excited for him. I agree.
Yeah, I think that matters. And remember, he got up there and he goes, "I'm not used to winning things. I don't usually win. I'm not usually the one.
I
who
don't
gets
win.
That.
I don't win blank. Yeah. But now, if the finals, like, I assume Dallas is going to win today, just because.
I think so too.
Just because these teams keep tanking these games. So if the finals started tomorrow, who would you pick? Dallas or Boston?
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, Porzingis is going to be back, I think.
Yeah, let's assume he is.
And let's assume reintegrate a guy who hasn't played in 2 months.
Let's assume everybody's healthy on both teams.
I'll tell you why I'm going to lean towards Boston. The 2 best players for the Mavs, who, no question about it, Luka's incredible, Kyrie's incredible. You got some options that they could play defensively. And I'm just talking about whether it's Jrue Holiday, it's Derek White, it's Jaylen Brown. They have real defenders I think they could put on them. The 2 strengths of the Boston Celtics, which is Tatum and Brown, not to say that there aren't other strengths, it's different, right? Like yes, PJ Washington can maybe match up for a little bit. Some of these guys can match up. I give Boston a little bit of an advantage.
There's a lot to keep track of with Boston. Like, their top 6 guys can be a problem on any night.
Yeah, the Lakers remind me of. I'm sorry, I made my own point
Inadvertently.
The Mavericks remind me of the Lakers in 2020. And it's not surprising because they're built and they're coached by one of the same staff, right?
Yeah, a lot of the same guys.
A lot of the same guys. But the Mavericks have two great stars and some really well-fitting role players that are playing above their heads right now.
I think Dallas can beat Boston. I mean, I'll be rooting for that hard.
I hope so.
But, Slee, I'm with you. I would favor Boston slightly. If you put a
I
gun to
would
my
pick-
head and said, you have to this either stay alive or die,
Yeah.
I would lean towards the Celtics.
I think I will probably pick Celtics in 7, but I'm not confident of that. And usually, and this is usually my rule, whoever has the best player in the series wins.
So who's the best player?
Luka?
I think Luka or Kyrie are better than Tatum or Brown.
By the way, how mad do the Celtics and the Nets front offices need to be at Kyrie right now? This is all they wanted, was for him to just be normal and ball out. And now he gets to Dallas, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's been a great teammate.
Yep.
He's been clutch in all these
Everything.
situations. And in Brooklyn, he was saying stuff like, we don't need a coach, and disappearing for 5 games when nobody knew where he was.
But here's the other side of that. Dallas has created the right conditions for him to be that.
Is that a Jason
But
Kidd
wait a minute.
thing?
You
That's
know,
Jason,
Momo,
that's
you
Nico,
know,
that's
Mark Cuban.
Wait a minute, though. You know Steve Nash. He's Nash is a player's coach, man. He's like, Nash is one of the great guys of all time. He wasn't. I mean,
but it's not.
He
just
wasn't
about
yelling at Kyrie.
It's not just about the coach, though. I think
it's the whole environment.
The one big reason that I never bought into the big 3 Nets between Kyrie, KD, and Harden wasn't the whole 3 players, 1 ball thing. It was nobody in that group wants to lead. There's nobody among that 3, at least at the time, that wants to lead. And the more personalities like that, the more you need somebody who will be accountable to all of this stuff.
Looks like
I
Phoenix
think Kyrie
now.
wanted to lead. He's just the wrong choice. And I do think there's a difference between Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. I think Nash was not confrontational enough. I think Jason he's the guy who's going to get in your face and tell you the truth. Like I just being around him, and you were obviously that year he was here. One of the reasons why he succeeds, he may look calm and composed on the sidelines, but one of the reasons why he succeeds is that he is not afraid to tell superstars the truth, even when it's a harsh truth. Like, he's the guy, remember, he would call out Luka. He called out Luka for not being in shape. He called him out for whining about the refs. I have Angel Hernandez on my mind.
Right.
I think Jay's got a different personality than Nash.
Well, Kyrie also may have come to realize, look, if I
This
want
is
to
it.
keep playing NBA basketball, there was no market for me at all.
Yeah. Well, to your point, I remember when even the idea was broached, bringing Westbrook off the bench by Frank Vogel.
Yep.
Everybody said, you can't do it. You can't bring Westbrook off the bench. It's too big of a blow to his ego, blah, 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 blah. Now, that's literally all Westbrook is.
Mm-hmm.
He will never be a starter in this league again, ever. And he goes to the Clippers. And, Andy, I think it has to do with what you brought up. I think he realized, if I don't make this work, I might be out of the league.
So, John, you like Sex and the City, right?
Of course.
That's your show.
Yeah.
Remember how when Charlotte meets this guy, Trey, and she had this theory that, whoever, they had a good relationship, but he was just too much of a mama's boy.
Yeah, the guy she married.
Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah. The other, okay, so, so essentially, she basically says sometimes, the one woman does all the work to get the guy ready to get married.
Right.
But that's not the one they marry. It's just the absolute next person that they meet that's going to be the one.
So you think that may have happened with
Kyrie?
With Kyrie.
Yeah.
And with Westbrook.
Okay, quick question.
Sex in the City.
That's
NBA
a perfect
playoffs.
Perfect comp. Quick question. And I don't know why does the league hate Gobert as much as they do?
Ask Bergman. Bergman has a long-standing hatred of Rudy Gobert.
Do you guys agree with this or not? Last game, so Minnesota obviously down.
Get on a microphone. You do.
He's kind of like the new Dwight.
Okay, but real quick.
Everyone picks on him.
Minnesota down 0-3.
I know.
Karl Anthony Towns was awful.
And, people got to relax on Anthony Edwards. Let this dude just develop. The entire inside the NBA crew the entire time was like, I swear, everything just went back to Gobert. I'm like, Gobert.
Well, that's because Draymond's sitting there with him.
All right.
Draymond's got a
That
thing with
probably
Gobert.
is
Greg,
the only
answer
reason.
this question as honestly as you can. Why your intense dislike for you dislike Rudy Gobert more than any NBA player, do you not?
He's probably the most that I don't like.
Why more than anything
I'm
else?
sure he's a really nice guy, and I'm not really caring about how he.
Right, you're talking about him as a player.
As a player, yes.
What don't you like?
He can be played off the floor consistently. He got played off the floor in the last game. He only defends really well inside the paint. You can pull him out and make him useless. And Luka hitting shots over him, they were going at him. You don't go at defensive players of the year, and he now has 4 on the same level.
I don't get that either. I'll meet you there. I agree.
So now at this point, he is going to be one of the
for himself to be defensive player.
I was
going
to say that the reaction to Gobert among his peers, I don't think it's about on the court. I think it's about purely off the court.
Like the COVID stuff, and
they got to be something else.
Whatever it is. And look, I've never met Rudy Gobert.
Yeah,
but it is clear he rubs a lot of people the wrong way for stuff that has nothing to do with basketball.
Boy, Andy, that surprises me. I've obviously covered him his whole career. He doesn't strike me as that guy, as a polarizing guy, but he clearly is.
I mean, again, I've never met him.
By the way,
so
same thing with Jaylen Brown. I've always thought Jaylen Brown was a stand-up guy, a good teammate.
Do they not like him?
No, Stephen A. over the weekend was talking about how he keeps getting texts from people saying he's a bad guy, and people don't like playing with him. And I'm like, really? Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, the Gobert after every Karl Anthony Towns can miss another 3, and they're like, "That's Gobert's fault." I'm like, "What the hell is everything on Gobert?"
The numbers back up.
I
They've
think
been way better.
Cat's Q rating is pretty low too.
Yeah,
people like to pile on him too.
Yeah, weird.
Did you not see that Kendrick Perkins also said that he wishes he could take his Defensive Player of the Year vote away from Rudy Gobert?
Well, I don't blame him the way Gobert's been playing in this series.
4 is too many. 4 is too many. Super Crosstalk is brought to you by In-N-Out